Fox Sports.
We are the Fox. We are the West.
Big moments. Flaring tensions. Escalating rivalries. The Rangers and Blue Jays have battled through some of the most epic times baseball has seen in recent years. In their first get-together of 2017, Blue Jay long balls were the catalyst in Toronto's series victory north of the border. Tonight, the Rangers look to return the favor in the first of 4 against the Bluebirds here in Arlington.
And welcome into Rangers Baseball, presented by AT&T. Happy Monday, everybody. We're playing baseball tonight, the first of 4 against the Toronto Blue Jays. Great to be at home. The Rangers, after a great weekend series, hope to keep it going against their rivals from the north. Welcome in once again. Great to be with you tonight. I'm Dave Ramit alongside Mr. Ranger Tom Grieve, and it is the Toronto Blue Jays in town. That in itself, always fun. Rangers playing baseball these days very well. That is fun. And on top of it all, Austin Bibens-Dirkx gets the start tonight.
You know, it's such a nice story. 32 years old when he made his debut. He probably slipped through the cracks and deserved it earlier than he got it. Made his debut against the Phillies, gave up 1 run in 1 inning. Following that game, he made his first career Major League start against Tampa Bay. He would go on to get his first Major League win with the Mets, no runs in 1 2/3. And then in his last outing, he beat Max Scherzer, 7 innings, 3 hits, and only 1 run. An excellent start. He's earned the respect of his teammates. He's persevered through the minor leagues. He's won the last 2 times he's been on the mound. He's 2-0 with an ERA under 4. Done everything he could possibly do. He was overly excited for his first outing. I imagine it hasn't changed a bit. He'll feel the same way tonight.
Yeah, nothing like it. A start at home, and the team right now maybe back to full strength. Offensively, we saw some real punch this weekend. Carlos Gomez, a big part of that. Back in the lineup the last 3 days, and he had a huge weekend series.
You know, you forget what you've got when Carlos Gomez was on the disabled list until you get a chance to see what he's looked like when he's come back. He's continued to hit. The base hits are falling. The long ball is falling. When Carlos went on the disabled list, prior to that, 21 games, he was hitting .320. So he's just picked up where he's left off. He provides excellent base running, and he's got a tremendous arm from the outfield. He's a force defensively. Great to have him back in the lineup. He means so much to the overall team. Speaking of meaning a lot to his team, Justin Smoak is having a breakout season. In his last 14 games, he's hit 7 home runs, knocked in 11. In his last 34 games, he's hit 14 home runs. So far this year, he's already hit 19 home runs, knocked in 45. In his career, coming into the season, he's a .223 hitter. So to say it's a breakout season is probably an understatement. He's on his way, having an all-star year, to having a tremendous season.
So many great players to watch in this series, but our spotlight tonight is going to be on third base. 2 of the best in the game tonight.
Rangers Baseball is brought to you by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
and the Blue Jays. Oh, yeah. Makes you want to head on out to the ballpark. All right, time though for our Shiner Light Blonde Spotlight. I mentioned we have a couple of really good third basemen going tonight.
Yeah, that's one of the highlights of this series, getting a chance to watch these two guys play third base. Josh Donaldson, a two-time Silver Slug Award winner. Adrian's won it 4 times, the best hitting third baseman. Josh Donaldson was the MVP in 2015. Adrian has won 5 Gold Gloves at that position. A couple other notable facts about the players. The last 5 years, no third baseman has hit more than 139 home runs. That's what Josh Donaldson has done. And as we all know, Adrian has 2,958 hits. That's third all-time among third baseman. So 2 excellent players. They're excellent defensive players, they're excellent offensive players, and they both play the game hard.
Yeah, and for that, of course, easy targets for our Shiner Light Blonde Spotlight, and ideally easy targets for you as a viewer, as a fan. Keep an eye on one position if you're going to pick one out for these next couple of days. Let's take a look at our starting lineup today. The Toronto Blue Jays, 33 and 35. Kevin Pillar up at the top. And then you got Donaldson, Bautista, Kendrys Morales having a good year as the DH. Tulowitzki, their shortstop, likes to hit in this ballpark. Steve Pearce back and healthy with him in left field, and Ryan Goins having a nice season at second base, batting 9th.
Austin Bibens-Dirkx will take the mound for the Rangers. We'll take a look at his pitch arsenal. Likes to throw his fastball. It tops out at 91 miles an hour. It's got a good slider. Throws that about 30% of the time. That drops down to 87. A 79 mile an hour curveball and an 85 mile an hour changeup that he uses about the same amount of time. Tonight's Rangers defense is delivered to you by Texas Department of Transportation. Carlos Gomez back in center field. Nomar moves over to left field while Shin-Soo Choo plays right field. It's Elvis and Rubned up the middle. Adrian Beltre at third. Joey Gallo's over at first, and behind the plate, Jonathan Lucroy.
All right, well set to go. Always fun with Austin Bibens-Dirkx out there. His third big league start tonight, a 2-0 record, the .328 earned run average. What a delight it has been to cover him this year. And of course, his first real big outing this season was on the road against these Toronto Blue Jays. They'll get us started tonight with a pitch inside on Kevin Pillar. Pillar in that leadoff spot, on base average at .311, but a little bit of power out of that leadoff position. He takes a strike, 1-1.
But Pillar got off to a great start this year. He slowed down a little bit. Last year he hit .266, hit 7 home runs. He's got 8 home runs already this year, so he is showing more power. Tremendous athlete. He can run, doesn't walk a lot, so he's not a huge on base percentage guy, but can provide a little bit of power at the top of the lineup.
In a hole now, a ball and 2 strikes when leading off an inning this year, as he is obviously in the first. Hitting .316, and you talk about the power. An OPS on base plus slugging of .888. So this is the situation in which he has seemed to thrive for Toronto. His job right now, though, really just to set the table for the big swingers behind him. And he serves this one high in the air out to short right field. Odor goes out, but in comes Choo to make the catch. 1 away.
Yeah, Austin Bibens-Dirkx doing what he does a lot. He likes to throw from different arm angles. Not just the traditional over the top, but he'll drop down from time to time, and that's what he did to Pillar right there. Dropped down, threw the ball away, and Pillar reached and hit the little lazy fly ball to right field. And he'll drop down and throw sidearm to a left-hand hitter. He doesn't really matter. Usually you would do that to a right-hand hitter, but he's perfectly comfortable trying that against lefties as well. Something to give them a different look.
Well, now deals with Josh Donaldson. And he went around. Donaldson couldn't hold off on that one. .300 average for Donaldson. Also with 8 home runs and 16 RBIs. Donaldson missed 38 games earlier this year. He's been back lately. As you can see, things have been difficult for Donaldson. Just 2 for his last 14. This is the opening game on a 7-game road trip for the Blue Jays. And Donaldson in a hole, 1-2.
Yeah, Donaldson is a guy that doesn't spend time on the disabled list. He's averaged right about 157 games a year over the last 4 years. So I'm sure it was an uncomfortable spot for him this year to be on the disabled list for such a long time. Used to being out there every day.
Tonight is 20th game since coming back. The 1-2. And he wouldn't chase that one. Hitting just under 300 in the 19 games since getting healthy again. 21 hits and 71 at bats, including 6 home runs. Almost half of his hits this year, though, have gone for extra bases. And anybody who has followed Donaldson, formerly MVP in the American League in 2015, they know that. He brings some thump. Bounces this one, though, to third base. Beltre with a good snare. His throw to first is high. And Donaldson just underneath the tag of Gallo.
Boy, that's a great slide by Donaldson. So many times on this particular play, the throw's offline. The hitter has a hard time getting out of the way of the tag. But Donaldson, not necessarily known for his speed, but he's an athlete, and he shows his agility as he dodges the tag by Joey Gallo with a fadeaway slide. Can't really tell if he evaded the tag or not. We will now, though. Yeah, it's tough to tell. Did he tap him on the shoulder?
Yeah, well, it was close enough that Jeff Bannister says let's review it.
Oh, it's going to be tough to overturn it, but if he didn't tag him, he was about 1/8 of an inch away. But credit Donaldson with really nice evasive slide to do his best to avoid that tag. I wondered at first he was able to touch first base, but it doesn't appear that that was a problem.
Maybe you watch a lot of baseball. Any fan who watches baseball has heard probably dozens of times, well, you really aren't benefited by sliding into first base. You should never slide into first, always run through, except in situations like that. That's the very rare spot where it does make sense.
Yeah, when people say don't slide into first, what they're saying is you can't get to first base faster by sliding. In that particular case, it doesn't matter how fast Donaldson gets to first base. He just has to get to first base before Joey tags him. And, you know, I don't know if he did or not, but the call was that he's safe. And then the question is, will that provide enough evidence for the umpires to overturn it? It's questionable.
It was not a long review, but they do say that he was tagged out.
I didn't know if it showed it definitively or not. It certainly looked like he tagged him, and it was overturned.
Yeah, I think that's one where you take several different pieces of information and evidence, and you tie them together, and they came up with out. So that's a big break. Now 2 away for Jose Bautista.
That's another good call by the replay reviewers for the Rangers. And a nice tag by Joey Gallo, and doesn't take anything away from the slide that Donaldson made to try to get out of the way. He just wasn't quite able to do it.
So Gallo gets his man. 2 out. Bautista. It's been in a June swoon. 130 average in 15 June games this year, and bounces at weekly third base. Beltre with more time now, and his throw a good one, and it completes a 1-2-3. Top of the first for Austin Bibens-Dirkx, and now the Rangers come to bat.
Inning. And now the Rangers. We take a look at our Southwest starting lineup. Chu at the top, Andrus second. Pretty standard middle of the order. Odor batting fifth today. You look at the bottom of the order. Joey Gallo in the ninth spot of the order at first base.
Take a look at the pitches that Marco Estrada favors. Throws a fastball about half the time. It reaches 90, but it's a below average fastball. His bread and butter pitch is his changeup, which he throws 36% of the time. He'll mix in a cutter and a curveball as well. But when he's going well, it's pretty much fastball and a really good changeup. Blue Jays defense, Steve Pearce gets the start in left field. Kevin Pillar, one of the best defensive center fielders, is out there. Bautista in right field. The hot Justin Smoke is at first base. Donaldson's back at third. Tulowitzki and Goins up the middle, and the veteran Russell Martin behind the plate.
Chu starts things off by taking one upstairs for a ball. On base average for Chu at 382. That's seventh best now in the American League. He watches a strike. He has done some amazing things lately. You talk about a guy in a groove. He's reached base safely now in 20 of his last 41 plate appearances. That should almost not be possible.
You know, when he gets in a groove, he's healthy and he's playing every day. Eventually, this is what you see, a guy with a 380 on base percentage. Last year, he had all the injuries. His season was chopped up, and he never really got into that kind of a groove. And when he has a chance to get comfortable and play every day, this is pretty much what you see.
He pops out to Donaldson in foul ground. One away here in the first inning.
The changeup that Marco Estrada throws makes his 88 to 90 mile an hour fastball look much faster than that. He's one of those pitchers that has been successful at the major league level with a below average fastball, and it's because of his changeup. Without that changeup, he's looking to develop a knuckleball probably.
Well, now Elvis Andrus, 288 average for Elvis, and Estrada pumps in strike one. Estrada 4 wins, 5 losses, the 454 earned run average. But you look at the last 3 starts, and early on is when teams have been getting to him. 10 runs in the first 3 innings in those last 3 starts.
You know, when the Rangers look at those numbers, they wonder how in the world teams are doing that to him, because he's had excellent success against the Rangers. In fact, the start prior to those 3, he pitched against the Rangers. He only gave up 1 run in 6 innings, walked 1 and struck out 8. So the Rangers generally see him at his best, and he seems to have the kind of repertoire that gives the Ranger hitters a problem.
Strike to Andrus makes it 2-2. That 1 run that he gave up in that start against the Rangers, it was on the first pitch of the game when Chu took him deep to center field.
Yeah.
After that, really settled in. Andrus been scuffling a little bit lately. Estrada's 2-2, and he went around according to plate umpire Jim Wolf. So a strikeout is the second out of the inning.
It was tough at bat for Elvis. The pitch before this was a fastball, a little bit outside, and Estrada got the call. That time he threw it in the same location, but he cut his fastball, and it went 4 or 5 inches away from Elvis, who couldn't hold up on his swing. If the pitch before that is called a ball, and it was a borderline pitch, then it's obviously an entirely different at bat.
Now Estrada will go to work against Nomar Mazara.
So many times there'll be what we perceive to be, or the other team perceives to be, a bad call on a certain pitch.
Mazara swings and hammers this one out to right field. It is heading way up there into the upper deck. Number 9 for Mazara.
He interrupted me in mid-sentence with that one. I wasn't watching. I looked up, couldn't see where it went. Saw the outfielders just standing there. They didn't even take a step back. Neither Pillar nor Bautista did anything but stand there, turn, and watch it. So that had exit velocity and distance. There you it's a fastball. Let's see where it was. Right down the middle at 90 miles an hour. And Estrada didn't bother to turn around either. He heard the sound of that ball, saw the trajectory of the ball, and knew it was going over the fence. Just a matter of where it was going to end up. 5 rows back in the upper deck.
Now Adrian Beltre. Boy, that was a blast by Mazzara. 8th home run by the Rangers on this homestand. This is just the 4th game, and we're in the 1st inning. 2-0 to Adrian Beltre, .296 average. So the Rangers strike first, a 1-0 lead. That home run estimated at 435 feet by Mazzara. And now it's 3-0. I see Beltre's numbers now 15 games back off the disabled list. It's as if he didn't even miss a beat as he takes one high. That's ball 4. Adrian down to first base. Well, John Gibbons, his team, they got up to such a terrible start in April. Turned it around nicely in May. June, mixed bag. They have lost 5 of their last 10 games. Now, this is a pretty important road trip for his club. Last place in the American League East Division, but only 2 games under 500. 33 wins, 35 losses, 5.5 out. But very much in the wild card race, in as much as we want to really get into the wild card at this point of the season. Here's Odor, way out in front.
Well, the Rangers, no matter what the Blue Jays have been doing record-wise, have seen them at their best. They've been a tough matchup for the Rangers over the last 4 years. Toronto has had the upper hand. So regardless of how the two teams have been playing at the time, when the Rangers have played the Blue Jays have had their number over the last 4 years. Blue Jays miss Aaron Sanchez, their ace. He's on the disabled list. Their lineup doesn't seem to work quite as well without Edwin Encarnacion in the lineup. Kendrys Morales is doing a nice job, but he's not Edwin Encarnacion by any stretch of the imagination. Chances are Encarnacion took a lot of the pressure off the rest of the lineup by being the guy in the middle of that lineup. Got off to a slow start with Cleveland, but looks like he's warming up a little bit.
Do you think Jose Bautista misses him in the lineup?
It sure looks like it.
Oh, man.
Not that Bautista had a huge year last year, but he's hitting in the 220s this year.
Odor waits on a 1-2.
Encarnacion is one of those guys. He's a power hitter, but he's a good hitter. He walks almost as much as he strikes out. Hits for a better average. And is basically just a tough out with a lot of power. So when he's hitting behind you, you can pretty much rest assured that the pitcher would rather pitch to you than Encarnacion coming up right after you.
2-2 pitch. Ooh, and a high strike 3 call on Rougned Odor. That ends the inning. But the Rangers get on the board first tonight. Nomar Mazzara. No doubt about it.
1-0 to the second inning. Tonight's telecast being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces, serving around the world on land and on ships at sea. We welcome all of you joining us tonight. Great to have you with us. Opening game in a 4-game series with the Toronto Blue Jays. Austin Bibens-Dirkx, he was perfect in the first. 11 pitches needed. Now goes after Kendrys Morales. We talk about how the Blue Jays might miss Edwin Encarnacion just a bit. Encarnacion with 16 home runs for Cleveland. Morales with 15 for the Blue Jays. Came at a slightly better price. He's ahead here 2-0. Morales really has been a very pleasant story for the Blue Jays. 41 RBIs to go with the long balls. And it's 2-1.
Something other than a good fastball to hit on a 2-0 count. Morales has been a good power hitter the last 2 years in Kansas City. Averaged 26 home runs and 100 RBIs the last 2 years.
Switch hitter, bats left-handed, and hits this one sharply down to first, off of Gallo's glove. He's going to have to backpedal. No, he'll get out of the way. Odor to Bibens-Dirkx.
That's the ultimate in having a base taken away from a shift, by a shift. Well, right down the line. Normally, in the old days, that ball rolls down the right field line for a double. Maybe an error, depending on how the scoring goes on it. Here's a one-hop smash. Joey knocks it down. And there's Rubned behind him in the pitcher cover. That's an all-timer right there. And how the shift works. That's some teamwork.
Just your routine 3-4-1 put out.
Here, Morales, you go back to the bench going, man, I think he would have gotten the call. I don't think it would have been an error. Could easily been a double right down the line. Instead, it's an out.
Good living for Bibens-Dirkx. It's the first man here. Now Justin Smoke. And Smoke lifts this one high in the air. Deep out to right field. Chube back at the wall, and that one is gone. 20th home run of the year for Justin Smoke. And before we had a chance to tell you what a huge year it has been, he leaves the yard to tie the game.
Well, he's been hot. And he's been hitting the ball out of the ballpark, tied for third in the league coming into the season in home runs. And he gets a first ball fastball. Just like Mazzara. Let's check the plate. That one's right in the middle of the plate on the inside half. Probably not as far in as Austin wanted it to be. And the hot hitting Justin Smoke ties the ball game.
Now Troy Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki, how about that? Just 2 home runs so far for him. We'll talk about the injuries and what a story it has been for the Toronto Blue Jays. He missed 31 games on the disabled list.
We were talking in the pregame show about what the Blue Jays would have to do to, I guess they're back in contention, but to stay in contention. And one of the things is some of their hitters that have careers of being good hitters have to hit like good hitters. Tulowitzki's one of them. Bautista's another. And Russell Martin, a veteran guy, off to a slow start. Most of their runs, good percentage of their runs, come on the home run. So to sustain offense over the last half of the season, they'll have to do more than hit home runs. They're going to have to hit for better average, move runners, hit with men in scoring position, score in other ways other than the long ball. And their guys have track records. They're an old team. They're not a young team.
Bouncing ball up the middle. Andrews to his left and throws out to Tulowitzki. 2 away. Well, it was a slow start for Toronto. First 30 games of the year, they went 10-20. They were getting outscored left and right. Had a hard time getting on base. To your point, living off home runs. Now lately, the last 38 games, a lot better. And a team getting on at a little better than league average at 326. But still very, as you point out, very home run dependent.
Oh, they are a veteran team. They do have talent, and they have been behind and come back in the past. So I think you have to look at the East and say it's a very competitive division. Look at the Blue Jays and say, based on the players they've got, if they play up to their capabilities, it's what we were saying about the Rangers when they were struggling early. We're not asking for any miracles, just have the players return to their normal form, and that's kind of what's happened, and the Rangers are winning ball games and playing nice baseball. That's what Toronto has to do. And what they are doing right now, 23-15 in their last 38 games, they're starting to do that.
Russell Martin waits on a 1-1. And that's strike two. All right. Percentage of runs via the home run. They are currently pacing to a major league record. Would obliterate the record held by the Toronto Blue Jays, 2010, who scored 53% of their runs on home runs. So you could, I guess you could also argue this is, maybe a little bit of a franchise philosophy, or at least a style in recent years for them. A run tonight on a homer.
Yeah, one thing I think that you face over the course of the season, if you're that dependent on the home run ball, is when you face a top of the rotation guy who's pitching well, it's going to be harder to hit home runs off that kind of a guy. And the need to manufacture runs will be more prevalent.
Gomez racing in on that pop-up by Martin. Puts it away. Ends the inning. Speaking of Carlos Gomez, he's been swinging the hottest bat on this team, and he'll lead things off when we come back. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Our Kubota power stats tonight. Marco Estrada, look at that earned run average, just above 2. When pitching against the Rangers. That does include the postseason, and those usually are well-pitched games. That's a well-worn glove. Look at that thing. I mean, he's got some miles on that thing.
He found one he liked.
Well, he goes to Gomez, and Gomez just hammers that one foul. Out into the concourse down in the left field corner.
It's not uncommon for some players to keep a glove years and years and years.
This one into center field, a base hit for Gomez.
And
Great way to
maybe
start
have
the second.
the front of it, the pocket, refaced, but keep the glove pretty much intact with new leather where the ball meets the glove. And especially guys that are really good fielders, they're just comfortable with it, and they just don't feel right going out there. At any given time, a player will have the glove that he uses in the game and maybe one or two others that he uses in practice, trying to break in so that break the glove in so that if anything happened to his first glove, he'd have one to go back on. But players are sometimes superstitious. Guys that are really good fielders love the glove and don't want to take anything else out there that's not going to make them feel the same way.
That's a beauty, though. Look at that.
And you can see that around the edges, down near his wrist, how it's worn. Growing up, that would have been characterized as basically a brand new glove in my neighborhood.
Right, yeah, there's no doubt, right? That's a good quality glove, of course, allowing it to last as long as it obviously has for Estrada. It's just so many guys anymore. You see him breaking in new gloves all the time. And I've always wondered about that because I would think guys would be a little more attached to their glove.
They definitely are. And it takes a while to get the quality of glove that a player in the big leagues uses is much different than the glove that you would buy for your 10-year-old son. Those kind of gloves you don't want to be stiff and need to be broken in. You want them to come right out of the store almost ready to use in a game. Well, yeah, the bottom line for that is they're not going to last quite as long. There's a more recent model. But when you play every single day, 162 games all spring and all practice, those gloves are catching a lot of baseballs. And it takes a while to break them in, but they're going to last much longer as well.
Napoli lifts this one out into left center, but it's going to hang up there a bit for Pilar. And there is one away.
It looked like Knapp had to reach for that just a little bit to hit it slightly off the end of the bat, which kept it from going 410 feet, went 385 feet instead.
So one away now. Gomez at first base, and it brings up Jonathan Lucroy. See the .307 on base percentage for Lucroy. He got in a little groove recently. He was swinging the bat a whole lot better. In fact, you take the last 30 games for Jonathan. 30 games ago, he was sitting at .211. That average has jumped considerably as he's hit almost .310 over that stretch. Gomez with a small lead. And it's 2-0 on Lucroy. Gomez, you see a little smile on that face as the pitch was being delivered. I don't know exactly how to describe it. It just sort of a quick little dance. I don't know if he was trying to bait Estrada or something into maybe a bit of a throw. He didn't have a huge lead then. He had a little bit better lead this time. He can be aggressive out there. 5 steals this year in 7 tries. And it is 2-1 on Lucroy. Our TXU Energy power player to watch tonight. Last 5 games against the Blue Jays, he's been very productive. He's ahead here, 3-1.
Yeah, Estrada's a guy with good control. He's only walked 20 batters in 81 innings. But in this game so far, it's only 28 pitches. He's thrown the same amount of strikes as he has balls, 14.
He walked Beltre on 4 pitches in the first inning. This is his second 3-ball count already. Gomez leaning at first, but not going. And there's a big swing and a miss. Estrada had walked a little more than 2 per 9 on average this year. He's 9th stingiest in the American League in that regard. He's a big strikeout pitcher, so he's usually in the zone. 5th in the American League in strikeouts per 9, just a little bit better than 10 strikeouts every 9 innings. Let's come back to work at full on Lucroy. This time Gomez is running. Lucroy fights it off foul to keep the at bat going.
I think anytime you see a pitcher whose average fastball is somewhere around 89 or 90 miles an hour, and he's in the top 5 in the league in strikeouts, you probably look and try to figure out what his other pitch is that's getting all the strikeouts. Sometimes it's a great curveball, might be an excellent slider. In Estrada's case, it's a great changeup, which he throws 35 to 40% of the time.
Ken Gomez with a lead, again running, and one more time Lucroy spoils it and earns yet another pitch.
And the changeup will get a lot of strikeouts. That will be a strikeout pitch, but it also sets up his fastball at 90 miles an hour to appear much faster to the hitter and allow that to be an occasional strikeout pitch as well. Without the changeup, that wouldn't be the case.
And your number there, 36% of the time that he uses the changeup, by far the most in Major League Baseball. The next closest is Jeremy Hellickson. He throws the changeup less than 31% of the time. So Estrada really leans on that pitch. Recent years, it has been a dominant one for him. This year, opposing hitters are handling that changeup a little better than they had recently. A little better than 230 against him on the changeup. Ninth pitch of the at bat. Gomez going again, and this time swinging a high fly out into left. Not going to carry. Pierce in position, and there are 2 away.
Jonathan waited on the changeup that time. He waited well. He just got underneath it a little bit. But it looked like he timed it. He wasn't way out in front of it. Didn't fool him that much. Still managed to hit it a little bit off the end of the bat. Just enough to keep it from jumping. Yeah, and Dave, you'd have to think that some of that average against the changeup has come in his last 3 games. He's given up 20 hits in his last 13 innings coming into the game.
Yeah, his last couple of outings have been a little bit rough as Joey Gallo lifts one high in the air into left field again. Pierce racing in and now drifting toward the line. That Wynn may be moving it a touch, and it completes a scoreless second inning. We go to the 3rd, tied at 1.
Top of the 3rd between the Blue Jays and the Rangers. Game 1 of this 4-game set, and it is time for our State Farm winning combination, and it's very simple for Adrian Beltre. It's simply staying on the field. The fact that he was able to avoid a DL stint with that sprained ankle is huge for this team. And I was talking to Cole Hamels the other day just about Adrian in general, and he said he's without a doubt the toughest player I've ever been around. What the guy plays through is absolutely amazing, and he's had an affinity for Adrian for quite some time. He said, I was a 16-year-old in San Diego when he made his debut with the Dodgers. And I'm thinking to myself, how on earth could I possibly even be close to where this guy is in 3 years? So he said he's admired him from afar all these years. But having the pleasure of playing alongside him, Cole says, is one of his greatest joys.
Yeah, I would say that's a joy shared by a lot of guys who have had that opportunity.
And I think Adrian might say that Michael Young is one of the toughest players he ever played with, too. And it's great to have those guys on your team. It pushes everybody. And the days where you're not feeling 100%, you're not injured, you're just not feeling that great. You look at a guy that's playing with a pulled hamstring, a strained groin muscle, whatever it might be, going out there and playing, and you say to yourself, if he can do that, then I can push myself too. It's great inspiration for his teammates when you've got those kind of guys on your team.
Yeah, and sometimes I wonder if that part of Adrian's game has gotten enough attention over the years. I mean, there have been some injuries, some of them that are difficult to even discuss.
Yeah, it won't come from him, that's for sure, because if he had his way, he wouldn't even talk about it. How you doing? I'm fine. How's it feel? I'm good to play. You know, that's pretty much what you get out of them. And those kind of guys, that's generally the way they are. It's the rest of us who like to make the most out of our little injuries. And yeah, I can't believe I'm going out there with a sprained little finger. But the guys that are really tough, they don't have to talk about it because everybody knows it.
Well, Bibens-Dirkx has gone to a full count on the 8th place hitter for the Blue Jays in this 3rd inning. Steve Pearce leading things off. .236 average this year for Pearce. And the payoff pitch, little comebacker, and right there for it is Odor. 1 away. Hey, the can't miss event of the summer hits South Beach. Baseball's biggest stars take the field for Major League Baseball's All-Star Game. It's July 11th only on Fox. Taking a look at the National League All-Star team as it currently stands. A lot of votes in already. With Blackman with 2.2 million votes in center field. What a great season he's having. Bryce Harper has surged lately. Daniel Murphy, Ryan Zimmerman, and all Nationals right side of the field.
Yeah, I think when you look at the All-Star voting, for the most part, you have to give a lot of credit to the fans. They've nailed it in almost every spot, American League and National League. I guess the one guy on that team is maybe Jason Hayward, where you might be able to find someone else to play left field that might be a little more qualified. Certainly a nice player, but maybe not the best left fielder statistically for the All-Star team. But it's nice to see Zach Cozart, for instance, rewarded in the voting for the year he's having.
Ryan Goins takes a strike, the count 0-2. 1 away, nobody on here with the 3rd inning. Bibens-Dirkx just his 3rd big league start. Last time out, outpitched. I mean, he outdueled Max Scherzer in Washington. At one point, setting down 19 consecutive hitters. And he goes 1-2 on Goins.
Yeah, didn't quite get there. The slider pitch before it got there on the corner. That one didn't quite make it. And it's certainly where he's trying to throw it to Goins. Low and away.
Well, that one a little bit further away, and it is 2-2. Well, Bibens-Dirkx told the story several times this year. It's been a delightful one to tell. A guy who was called up to the big leagues for the first time in his career on May 7th. And then sat out in that bullpen for 10 days before getting his first opportunity. It was amazing. Every day we wondered, is this the day? Austin Bibens-Dirkx.
So did he. He wondered the same thing.
Goins stays alive.
You've got that adrenaline flowing for 3 hours every single day, wondering when that time is going to come. That's a long time to wait, but his patience was rewarded.
Well, you talk about a dream realized. 32 years old, spent 12 years in the minor leagues, and I guess it would have been Saturday was the 1-year anniversary of Austin being signed by the Rangers out of Independent League Baseball. He was pitching for Lancaster in the Atlantic League and was signed by the Rangers just to fill some much needed depth at starter in the minor leagues. And he gets Goins to swing and miss for his first strikeout tonight. 2 away. We go to the top of the order, and it's time for us to take a Chevy game break as we send it back to John Radigan. Thanks, John. And you will be seeing Cleveland on the next road trip, and looks like might not be a great time to be seeing them as they've been a little better lately.
The way the Indians played the first 3 games of the season, I think after those 3 games, the reaction had to be good luck trying to catch the Indians in the Central. They came back down to earth, and they've struggled for most of the year, but not right now. They just got done beating Minnesota 4 straight. They went from 2 behind to 2 ahead. And it looks like they're keeping going right now. They've won 5 straight. They've got a 2-game lead. They're definitely the team to beat talent-wise in that league, and looks like their talent's starting to rise now. It's going to be tough to catch them.
2 out here, and the 1-1 pitch to Pilar. A little low, 2-1. Pilar flat out in the first inning. 0 for 1 in tonight's game. Blue Jays maybe not playing at their peak level right now. A couple of games under 500, though they turned it around after a really slow start in April. It's 2-2. There was a point in April where the Blue Jays were 6-17. So the fact that they're anywhere near 500 now has made that man a whole lot happier. John Gibbons, one of the great ones in our game, though. What a treat to catch up with him every time he's in town or when we go to Toronto. Good Texan.
He's got a show on one of the MLB morning shows where he comes on once a week, and I've heard him several times. And twice when I heard him, they're coming off some terrible games. And I'm thinking, poor guy, he's got to come on the air and talk about this. And he did a good job of it. You know, he basically said, look, I've got some good players. We just have to be patient and have confidence that they start playing the way they're capable of. And that's what's happened.
Well, Pilar strikes out swinging. 2 strikeouts in the third for Bibens-Dirkx. And we played 2.5.
Unlimited Baseball Break brought to you by T-Mobile. How about some of these notes? The Oakland A's completed a sweep of the Yankees in a 4-game series, just a third time since the Athletics moved to Oakland back in 1968. Xander Bogaerts helped the Red Sox move in a first-place tie in the American League East with another great effort against the Astros. And Nolan Arenado hit for the cycle, and he did it with a walk-off home run. Only the 5th player in Major League history to complete the cycle in such fashion. Pretty amazing. Rockies have been pretty amazing as we get started here in the bottom of the 3rd. And Chu thinking about bunting.
Yeah, I don't know how Arenado hit that ball 380 feet for a home run. Looked like it was about 6 inches inside. Somehow he did. What a great player.
Upstairs to Chu. It's 1-1. Really beautiful view of Globe Life Park tonight on this Monday evening. Just above the wedgie out there in right field. 2 balls and a strike on Shin-Soo Choo. Well, we mentioned it earlier. Chu has really been on a tear in terms of getting on base. Runs away from one. It's 3-1. He has reached base safely multiple times in 5 straight games. It's one of the top on base averages in the American League these days, and has set the table beautifully for what has been a kind of a churning middle of the order. And he hits this one out into left field. That's a base hit.
He's getting on base, and he's also in the last 3 weeks hit 6 home runs. He's providing power. A cut fastball that didn't cut stayed on the plate. Chu lines it over short. Get the Rangers started in the 3rd inning.
So he's on, and Chu does have a little bit of speed. Can run with Andrus up there. Elvis 0 for 1, struck out in the 1st inning. And take strike 1. We have seen it a lot. Chu in motion with great frequency lately during an Andrus at bat, trying to help Elvis from hitting into double plays. Elvis has hit into more double plays than anybody in the American League, 13 times. Well, the Rangers do like to run. Blue Jays have had a tough time stopping opponents from stealing bases, especially that guy Russell Martin, who has in his career been a good one, but it has not gone well for him this year. There goes Chu, and Andrus fouls it off. Look at what the Rangers have done among American League teams. Only the Angels have been more successful in stealing bases. 65 of them to the Rangers 59. And then it's a pretty big drop off after that. Delano to Shields with 15 of them. Andrus with 15 of them. Chu has 6. Not going. And that's off the plate. 1-2. Russell Martin, Estrada's catcher, he has thrown out more would-be base stealers than any catcher right now in Major League Baseball in his career. One more than Yadier Molina. He's done it 266 times, but this year it's been rough. 1-2. This year, Martin has thrown out right about 15% of would-be base stealers. He's only managed to gun down 5 of them. He's allowed 28 stolen bases.
enough to have Estrada's attention. Estrada's given up 3 hits so far. Home run to Mazara, Gomez, and now Chu with base hits. 2-2 pitch, and that one is hooked over short out into left field. It drops in, base hit. Back-to-back singles to start the 3rd inning for the Rangers. And here comes Nomar Mazara. What did he do his first time up?
Got a pretty good fastball to hit. 90 miles an hour right near the center of the plate. You'll see the exit velocity 109, the launch angle 27 degrees, and that results in a 435-foot home run. He has enjoyed hitting right-handed pitchers this year. He's knocked in 41 runs against right-handed pitching. Only Nelly Cruz is ahead of that.
An opportunity to do more damage here. Chu is at second, Andrus at first. Elvis snapping an 0 for 10 with that base hit. And this one off the end of the bat toward third, picked up by Donaldson for 1 to throw across the diamond, not in time. And by the way, well, a safe sign at third base by Bibens-Dirkx, but I'm not sure what that was all about. Pretty clear that Donaldson had beaten him to the bag.
And right off the end of the bat, Donaldson is waiting for the ball to try to make the tag. Very little chance to make the throw, but he got the lead runner. He was not going to get a double play, so it makes sense to try to get the out at third base, which he did.
So Andrus now at second, Mazara at first, and Beltre fouls it off for strike 1. Adrian with the walk in the first inning. Chance for him maybe to do some damage here. Rangers would love to pick up a run or two after having taken the lead 1-0. Beltre lifts this one out to right. And Batista makes the catch. Andrus will tag at second. He heads to third, but there are 2 away. MLB.TV every night, every device. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live. Plus, get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Go to MLB.TV for details. So back-to-back singles to open the inning. But a roller to third, a fly ball to right field. And it's going to be left in the hands of Rougned Odor. The Rangers want to get anything out of this. Odor struck out looking in the first.
If you go back to that strikeout that Rugi had, one of the things that he works on is trying to be a little more patient on the borderline high fastball that's a little bit out of the strike zone. And in that particular at bat, he took that pitch. It's a borderline pitch, maybe a little bit high, but he didn't get a reward for taking it. It was called a strike anyway. You know, it's one of those pitches, not a bad call. It could have gone either way. But in Rugi's case, it was a call that was a little bit painful because it's one of those high fastballs that he was able to lay off on. Could have been called a ball, but it wasn't. It was called a strike. Anthony Iapoce is the hitting coach on the right, keeping close tabs on Rugi.
Little tapper out in front of the plate, and Estrada overhands it to first to get Odor and end the inning. So Rangers got a couple of hits, but they leave him out there, and we go to the 4th in a 1-1 game. Hard Facts brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. Austin Bibens-Dirkx, first pitcher since 2008. Got his first win in relief and then turned around to get his second career win as a starter in his very next appearance. Chris Volstad back with the Marlins in 2008. The last to do it. He has the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Blue Jays in this fourth inning. Donaldson, Batista, and Morales. Donaldson grounded out of the first. He's 0 for 1 on a play that was reviewed. He made a great slide into first base. Looked like he avoided the tag of Joey Gallo, and then on review, the call was overturned.
Yeah, and I think watching Donaldson's body language after it was reversed, the way he came off the field, he didn't dispute the fact that he was tagged. I think if he didn't feel a tag, he would have at least questioned the umpire with his eyes, with his body language. But the way he ran off the field seemed to say, yep, you got me.
Ahead here 3-0. Bibens-Dirkx has not walked a Blue Jay yet, but in trouble of doing so right here. Bouncer third base. Beltre has time to set up. Donaldson clearly not happy about it. And he is thrown out by a mile. A 5-3 putout starts the fourth. All right, the Rangers and Blue Jays once again tomorrow night. First 7,500 kids 13 and under to the ballpark. We'll get a Rangers captain kids hooded towel courtesy of Denny's. You can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or call 972 Rangers.
Donaldson was upset because he got a 3-0 fastball, looking fastball all the way, got the green light and grounded out to third. I think a lot of times a manager or a hitter like Donaldson, if he's struggling just a little bit, the manager will always let him swing 3-0 in that situation early in the game, trying to get a good pitch to hit, trying to hit one hard, trying to regain that stroke. He got the pitch, just wasn't able to do anything with it other than ground out to third.
Batista takes a strike. It's 1-1. Well, to be very clear, fans here at home love watching this guy fail. There's just no doubting it. Every time he comes up, serenaded with boos. Anytime a call like that goes his direction, additional boos.
And it's kind of what Rugi faces when the Rangers go up to Toronto.
It's funny, in a game and in a moment that might be somewhat insignificant, you'll get some lusty cheers when he'll roll out on a routine play, the 2-1 pitch.
Well, if I'm the player, I'd rather get booed for connecting with the punch than get booed for having the punch connect with me. I'd much rather be in Rugi's shoes getting booed in Toronto than his shoes being booed in Texas.
All right, close call on that last appeal, but it goes in Batista's favor. 3-1 the count. And he fouls this back our direction. It's a full count.
That's a pretty good indication right there that Bautista's been struggling. 7 for 55 in June. And he got a 3-1 fastball right down the middle of the plate, and all he could do was foul it off.
These fans, they would love a strikeout right here. Bibens-Dirkx has 2 so far tonight. The 3-2. That ball hit well, high in the air, out to left field. It's carrying well. Mazzaro looks up, and it is gone.
Unfortunately, he got another fastball, and that time he didn't miss it. I guess as a hitter, that's what you hope, that you get a pitch to hit and miss it. You hope you get another shot at it, and he did. And that time he connected. Not exactly in the center of the plate. That might have been a changeup the way it came out of his hand. In any event, that's where it ended up, and a nice catch by the fans right in front of the restaurant out there.
Now Morales and a breaking ball in there for strike 1. So Toronto
Takes the 2-1 lead on Bautista's 12th home run of the year. One strike pitch. Morales swings and hits this one well out to right. Chu is back, might have room, and he lost it off his glove and up against the wall. Morales goes for 2, and he is in there. Well, Chu got back there, but I don't know if he heard footsteps in that wall or if he just missed it. Looked like it hit his glove.
That was a changeup that Morales had to reach for. Shows his power that he can reach for it and still hit it that far. Chu looks at the wall, looks up, didn't quite get his glove on the ball up near the wall. Goes for a double for Morales. It looked like the 3-2 pitch that Bautista hit was a changeup that he waited on nicely. Sometimes you give credit to the hitter. 3-2 changeup, he waited on it, he hit it. And Morales just showed his power, being able to reach out and yank that ball that far. Evidently checked the play at second base.
Yeah, that's interesting. Jeff Bannister out, and it is asked the crew to review this play at second base. And my only guess here, Thomas, if Morales want to come off the bag.
Yeah. Yeah, you get thrown on that ball, then speed is not your virtue. It was close enough, even though the ball came off the wall like that, that he did have to slide. He's safe now. And his foot came off. I don't know if he tagged him in time, but Elvis was thinking that.
Now, he definitely came off the bag. Andrews definitely put the glove on him. Just, did he put it on there while the foot was off?
Wasn't off very long.
Takes some pretty good camera work to find out. Foot off.
Wow. I can't make that call.
Boy. That's a tough one. And again, you have to have enough evidence to say conclusively that the call of the field was incorrect.
It looks like he got him because his heel was still coming down. I don't know about the front part of his foot.
I don't think either of them know. I think they're both like, I don't know. This will be interesting.
I don't know that they know either. And in New York, they're still trying to figure it out.
So Jeff Bannister using his challenge here. Challenged successfully earlier in the first. I think feels pretty good about this challenge. And the other thing worth pointing out, of course, is that we don't always have all the angles they have in New York.
Right.
So they may have additional looks at this to give them an even better idea of what happened. And it's usually, as these things go on, it does give you pause as to whether or not they'll be able to overturn it. So the home run a moment ago by Jose Bautista. By the way, that one went 442 feet. Looks like we have our decision. So Jeff Bannister loses his challenge for the rest of the game. Call stands, and Morales safe at first. And here's Justin Smoke.
Back to May 26th for Justin Smoke, facing Austin's Bibens-Dirkx in Toronto. He went deep, 380 feet, and then tonight he did it again. Pitch on the inside part of the plate. Pretty much the exact same ball as far as distance goes, same part of the field.
Continuing an incredible first half for Justin Smoke. There you see him trailing only Aaron Judge and Logan Morrison in the American League with 20 home runs now. Gallo just a couple behind him, 5th in the American League. And off the plate, it's 1-1. The average continues to climb for Smoke as well, now at 295 after that home run.
Yeah, to say that this is a breakout year would be an understatement. He has never come close to having the year that he's having right now in his career. Portions of 7 years, 6 total years in the big leagues, his career batting average is .223. He's hitting in the mid 290s right now. Most home runs he's ever hit in a year was 20. He has 20 right now before the All-Star break. Most runs he ever knocked in was 59. He's already approaching 50.
In his 3rd year of a 4-year deal with Toronto, and he taps this one off his foot foul. It's 2-2.
I think it's a little bit unusual for a first baseman to continue to get the playing time that Smoke has gotten throughout his career without providing the numbers that first basemen normally provide. But in his case, he's taken advantage of it because he's learned over the years. He's put it all to good use, put it together, and this year the Blue Jays are being rewarded for the playing time and the work that he's put in over 6 or 7 years. And he's one of the best offensive players in the league. Certainly headed to the All-Star game.
Sends this one out to short left field. Mazzara racing in on it and will have to take it on a hop. Morales goes to third on Smoke's base hit.
Now batting the shortstop, Troy Tulowitzki.
Just kind of served this out to left field, hit it softly. There's nothing Nomar could do to get to that ball other than catch it on a hop and get it back in. And when you're hot, they fall in for you. Hit them over the fence, you hit them in front of the fielders.
So now on the corners with 1 out for Troy Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki rolled out in the 2nd inning. He's 0 for 1. And he takes strike 1. Tulowitzki has bounced into 4 double plays this year. And a guy who has missed significant time on the disabled list. Bibens-Dirkx could use a ground ball right here. Giving up a couple of solo home runs tonight. Trails 2-1. He's got 2-0 and a whole 0-2. This will be the 20th pitch of the inning for Bibens-Dirkx. He's pretty efficient in the first 3. 11 pitches in the first, 14 in the second. Last inning with the 2 strikeouts, it cost him 18 pitches. But battling here with a couple of men on. Good stop back there by Lucroy. Well, Bibens-Dirkx, he takes pride in being around the strike zone, and you know, some of that might result in the occasional home run, but he's going to challenge hitters. Feels like one of the great strengths he has is that he will not give in, will not walk guys. And did he get Tulowitzki? No. Once again down at first, DJ Rayburn. No ability to pull the trigger.
He definitely started his swing. Let's see if he stopped it in time. Whoa. My vote would be no, but mine doesn't count.
So Tulowitzki stays alive, and it costs that guy one more pitch at minimum. Here's the 2-2, and he gets him swinging.
Turned out it only cost him 1 pitch, same result. Came right back, made a good pitch, and got the strikeout.
Now batting catcher Russell Martin.
Like a slider or cut fastball. You see Tulowitzki with a big swing, kind of pulled off that ball a little bit. Wasn't able to get the bat far enough out to make contact. Big out though with men on first and third and only 1 out. Get the strikeout, A lot of ways that run could score if you make contact. And Tulowitzki is not a guy that strikes out a lot.
No, that was a real big one. Just 16th strikeout for Tulowitzki this year. As Russell Martin now with 2 outs. Takes one very high. He flied out in the second inning, 0 for 1. Well, Bibens-Dirkx would feel pretty good getting back to the dugout in a 2-1 game. If he can get this guy. That one in there. It's 1-1. Gave up the home run to Batista earlier in the inning, then a double and a single. Trying to pitch around a little bit of traffic. 25th pitch of the inning for him right here. And it's 2-1. Martin does have some power. You have to be respectful of that. 2-1 pitch, and it's high. 3-1. Maybe a little extra campaign at the end of that one by Lucroy, as well as Austin. Taking a little extra look into Jim Wolf, like, you sure? Another 3-ball count. And it's a full count now on Russell Martin.
Good 3-1 pitch. Fastball count. Threw him a slider. They had a good slider. Not necessarily the fact that you threw a slider. That helps. It's where you threw that slider. Down and away. You hang it. It doesn't make much difference. But when you throw it down there, you're going to get a swing and a miss in that count with a guy looking for a fastball.
Well, 3 strikeouts so far tonight for Bibens-Dirkx. On the cusp potentially of another here. 2 out. In the 3-2 he has walked Russell Martin. The bases are loaded.
Outfielder Steve Pearce.
You see, he really wanted that one come spinning down the hill.
I think he's thinking, I threw the right pitch. I wanted to throw the same location that I did the pitch before. Just missed a little bit. Didn't get it quite close enough to entice Martin to swing at it. That Brocail goes out, give him a little bit of breather, catch his breath. Want to keep this a 2-1 ball game headed to the bottom of the 4th. Bases loaded. The key point in the game right here. Trying to get Steve Pearce.
Brocail pretty good at finding the right buttons to push with Austin. Good success anyway on those mound visits. Delivering the right message. See if he can pitch out of this bases loaded jam here. Morales at third, Smoke at second, Martin at first, and here's the 8th place hitter, Steve Pearce. And he hits this ball hard out to left field. That one is a base hit. Morales is in. Smoke right behind him. They're going to wave Russell Martin. Here comes a relay throw. It's high, and it's a bases clearing double for Pearce. Comes with 2 outs in the inning. And it's just like that, Toronto leads 5-1.
Well, Pearce is a veteran guy. He's been a pretty timely hitter, and he's been hot. 467 in his last 5 games. Coming into this game, he gets a slider, and that ball did hang. It stayed on the inside part of the plate. That ball was intended to be down and away. Austin didn't get it there, and Pearce was able to hit that ball hard to left field.
Three-run double. Pearce still in scoring position for Ryan Goins. And there's a strike. Goins struck out in the 3rd. 4 runs in this inning.
Warm night. Game time temperature was 88 degrees. A lot of humidity today. 0-2 the count. Well, here's one. You start drilling down a little bit. Ryan Goins with 2 outs in the inning and a man in scoring position. Look out. 412 average. So this is a profitable spot for him. Well, Bibens-Dirkx has really had to work in this 4th inning. He's losing some fluids out there. The Oregon native played his college ball in Portland. This will be his 32nd pitch of the inning. I said 88 degrees, 31 Celsius for all of our Canadian friends watching. 1-2. Ryan Goins. Well, pregame news today. Tanner Scheppers was added to the roster today, and he's already getting ready. Two and two.
Take a look at the roster moves. A.J. Griffin transferred to the 60-day disabled list. Tanner Scheppers had his contract purchased. He wasn't on the Major League roster. And Jared Hoying was optioned back to Round Rock. So the Rangers now have 8 bullpen pitchers and 3 extra position players. Feeling like the need was more for an extra pitcher than an extra position player.
Goins extends the inning. Another pitch. 2-2 the count. We had Bibens-Dirkx going tonight. Nick Martinez has picked up the start tomorrow, so he's not available in long relief today. Boy, what a long inning it has been for Bibens-Dirkx. His 35th pitch coming next. Two-two. Well, he's probably getting a little rubbery out there on the mound.
Just trying to make that one pitch, get the last out, get back in the dugout.
Here's walking off second. And it's a full count. This one slipping away a little bit in the 4th inning for Bibens-Dirkx. Tested in this 4th in a way he really has not yet been tested in the big leagues. About to hit 80 pitches for the night. Here it comes. And a bouncer, second base. Odor is there. Well, that'll take care of Goins and the Blue Jays, but not before they put a 4 spot on the board. We go to the last of the 4th inning, 5-1.
101 Progressive Fan of the Game time, and it is a birthday girl who we've got today, Entha Lee Jones. Entha, happy birthday today. How old are you?
Pardon?
How old are you today?
101.
101.
101 years old.
Girl, you are wearing it well. I'll tell you that.
Thank the Lord.
Yes, ma'am. And you are a big Rangers fan. Her favorite player, guys, Elvis Andrus. Number 1 for Miss 101.
Man,
wow,
that is awesome.
That's so great.
Oh, what a great way to spend the birthday. That is incredible. As Carlos Gomez starts the bottom of the 4th inning. It'll be Gomez, Mike Napoli, and Jonathan Lucroy. How about those numbers for Carlos Gomez since coming back off the disabled list? 8 for 16, 8 RBIs. Singled in the 2nd. And that extended his hitting streak to 8 games. So locked in. Gomez and now just trying to start a little something in this 4th inning against Estrada. Start the Rangers on the comeback trail, down 5-1.
Yeah, Rangers had a pretty good rally. Started in the 3rd. First 2 men, Chu and Andrus, reached on singles. Couldn't move them around. I mentioned that Estrada's coming off 3 forgettable games for him. 28 hits in 12 2/3 innings and 17 runs. He's pitched well in the past against the Rangers. I don't know that he's been as sharp today as he has been in the past against the Rangers, but so far the Rangers have only been able to score 1.
Well, a good start though to this 4th inning as Gomez draws the walk. And here's Mike Napoli. Felt like we saw a couple of pretty good swings in the 2nd inning for this bottom of the order against Estrada. They just didn't quite carry enough. Napoli's was one of them. Came in with the average at 199. 13 home runs though. And he takes a strike from Estrada. Couple of home runs in Saturday's game. Napoli was activated from the disabled list before Friday. Tied up here, 0-2. He was starting to heat up right before going on the DL with that strained lower back. Was hitting 279 in a 14-game stretch. Gomez with a good lead at first. 1-2 to Napoli. Estrada rocks into that set position. 2-2 the count as Russell Martin kept it close. Not going again. Napoli just fights off speed offering from Estrada. 2-2. Gomez with 5 stolen bases. And that number doesn't necessarily tell the story. I mean, he can run a little bit. Miss some time for injury. He swings and misses. That strike 3. 1 away in the 4th. Well, celebrate the 4th of July with America's pastime by heading out to the ballpark. Rangers and Red Sox, 7:05 game on July 4th. And then afterward, the classic 4th of July fireworks show presented by Honda. Get your tickets today at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972 Rangers. So Estrada's gotten a little run support today. He's allowed 4 hits and also walked a couple hitters, but has managed to pitch around some of the traffic.
Yeah, for a guy that doesn't walk many, you mentioned that it's under 3 per 9 innings, right around 2 per 9 innings. His ball to strike ratio is not that good today. 34 strikes, 28 balls. Generally, has a ratio much better than that, strikes to balls. But he's, I think, struggling with his command today.
It's one of those things they talk about so much with experienced pitchers, veteran pitchers, guys who come out and they just don't have their good stuff on a given night or their good command, but are still able to figure out a way to pitch around it.
Yeah. And he seems to have the Rangers number. They seem to have a hard time against the type of pitches that he throws.
Well, this is now a 5th 3-ball count for him.
If you're going to break through and have a big game against him, tonight's the night to do it, because he doesn't have his command. He's had a lot of 3-ball counts. He's already walked a couple of guys. He's walked a leadoff hitter this inning, and now it's 3-0 to Jonathan.
Gomez off first base, and there's ball 4.
Very unusual for him.
A couple walks in the inning. And again, you're talking about a guy who had issued 20 walks in a little over 81 innings coming in. 2.2 walks per 9 innings. And he has doled out 3 of them in the early going tonight.
Yeah, and even in the last 3 games that he's pitched that we've talked about that he's struggled, it's because he's been getting hit, not because he's been wild. In those 3 games, he only walked 3 batters, same amount he's walked tonight in this game. Well, it hasn't been an issue with throwing strikes. It might be an issue with throwing quality strikes, and that may be the reason why he's been hit so hard. But I think when you have an inning, when you're behind in a ball game, you have an inning where in the first 3 batters, 2 of them have walked. You want to take advantage of it against this guy.
Well, Joey Gallo with 1 out. He hits one a mile high in the air, but foul.
He tried to wait on it. He almost waited on it. A little bit out in front of it. That was a high changeup. Chances are you see it again, you might be able to wait a little bit longer, in which case you're waiting for it to come down somewhere out in the stands. In fair territory, not foul.
Well, this one fouled off as well. The count 0-2 on Gallo. You make one mistake to Gallo and he will punish it. 5th in the American League with 18 home runs. Estrada got him to fly out to left field in the 2nd inning. The Rangers could use a big hit right here. Gomez 2nd, Lucroy at 1st. And it's 1-2.
He likes the ball right down the middle of the plate.
Yeah, don't. If you're trying to keep him in the yard,
that's where most people like him, right down there. The other side of it is when you get him, take advantage of it. Joey's definitely done that.
Stays 1-2.
One of the pitches that's hard to hit from Estrada is a high fastball for a strike, top of the strike zone, after you've seen several changeups. Just, your mind is geared up to that changeup, and all of a sudden that 90-mile-an-hour fastball popped in there. It's tough to catch up with. That was the issue with Mike Napoli in his at-bat. Saw some changeups and then that high fastball and couldn't quite catch up with it.
Here's the 1-2. And he got him swinging.
Yeah, there it was. That's his best fastball, 92 miles an hour. Joey had almost waited on some changeups, pulled them foul. And then with 2 strikes, Estrada comes back with that high fastball at 92 miles an hour and got the swing.
So Rangers had a couple of men on in the 3rd inning. Couldn't get anybody home. Couple of walks here with the 4th inning. It's going to be up to Chu. who singled his last time up. 5-1 Toronto. Oh, nice strike to Chu. Chu ambushed Estrada when we were in Toronto. First pitch of the game Saturday afternoon and launched it to center field. Been a little more patient today. And taps this one by the mound. That's in a tough spot. Nobody home. And the bases are loaded.
That'll play. You could just see that develop when it came off the bat. Estrada couldn't get to it. Second baseman couldn't get to it. Once smoke came off the bag, it didn't matter because there wasn't going to be anybody at first base anyway. It worked just kind of like a drag bunt. Second hit for Chu tonight. Sets up an opportunity for Elvis. Looked like an off-speed pitch away, right off the end of the bat. In no man's land. Elvis has been solid this year in RBI situations. Knocked in 36 on the season. That's the second most for Major League shortstops. There's a chance to add to it right here at a point in time in the game where the Rangers can really use it.
Long conversation out of the mound as Russell Martin went out there to have a word with Estrada. Well, at the top of the inning, the Blue Jays loaded the bases with 2 out. And it was Steve Pearce who delivered a very big double to clear the bases. Andrews, nearly a .340 hitter with the bases loaded. Got Gomez third, Lucroy at second, and Chu at first. One for 2 tonight. And Estrada's first pitch is swing and a miss. Elvis recently had his 15-game hitting streak come to an end. Since then, 3 for his last 20, including tonight. One strike pitch. Gomez drew the walk to open the inning. He's at third. Lucroy 1 out later. He worked a walk. Now at second base. And then Chu just a moment ago with that little dribbler for a base hit. 25 pitch inning for Estrada once he delivers to Andrews here. Bibens-Dirkx struggled in the top of the 4th, and now it's Estrada's turn. One and 2.
Those 3 pitches have all been fastballs, high fastballs. Now as a hitter, you know he's got the changeup. You still have to be ready for the fastball. You can't really look for a changeup. You have to be ready for his fastball because it's sneaky and hope you can adjust if you throw something slower.
Estrada readies for a big pitch. Here it is. And it's fouled away again.
4 straight fastballs. Elvis had a base hit on a changeup his last time up. He was a little bit out in front of it, but he lined it into left field. And maybe Estrada a little bit worried that if he throws him a changeup, he might be able to wait on it and hit it. He's going with his fastball, at least so far in this count.
Elvis has hit well against the Blue Jays in his career. Has a hit already tonight. The 1-2. Bounces this one left side. That one is through. Base hit. Gomez is in. Here comes Lucroy. He scores. And it's a 5-3 game. Elvis Andrews delivers again.
Well, there's a lot of good hitters on the Rangers ball club, but in that situation, you love to see Elvis as one of them at the plate. We got all the pitches in that at bat, and let's take a look at them. Estrada will challenge Elvis with a fastball. Gets a swing and a miss up and away. Going to throw him the same pitch a little farther outside to make it 1-1. A little bit closer to the plate for a miss. Good fastball to hit. He fouled it off. And then he tried an off-speed pitch, and Elvis waited on it and grounded it into left field for 2 runs. I think the initial thought that Estrada had was Elvis is a pretty good off-speed hitter. I'm going to go after him with my fastball. After he saw 4 of them, he said, okay, now it's time for the breaking ball. Something off speed, and Elvis waited on it and had a 2-run single. So great job by Elvis, who's been the most consistent Ranger hitter all season long.
That one, no doubt, feels really good for him as well. Second hit of the night. Still a couple of base runners now for a red-hot Nomar Mazara. Big home run in the first inning. He'll take one very high. Pete Walker, Blue Jays pitching coach, out just a moment ago. We'll have a word with Marco Estrada, who has had to struggle a little bit in this 4th inning. One to Nomar. That's ball 2. The teams traded solo home runs in the first 2 innings. Good. On the top of this inning, 4 runs came across for the Blue Jays. 2 have scored in the bottom of the inning so far for the Rangers. And there's a strike. Check count, another ball.
That's the one you want to lay off on. Lay off of that high fastball. Oh, you got your 3rd place hitter up. Knocked in a ton of runs against right-handed pitching. Got a 3-0 count. My sign is go for it. Look for a fastball and do the same thing you did the first time with it. See if he throws him a fastball, even if it is 3-0.
Whoa, way up and in. And Mazara walks on 4 pitches. The wheels turning for that man, John Gibbons. A lot of pitches this inning for Estrada.
Yeah, Estrada's pretty much running into the same inning that Austin Bibens-Dirkx ran into in the 4th inning. Rangers need that 1 hit to cap it off like the Blue Jays got in the top of the 4th.
They're not getting any easier here for Marco Estrada. Adrian Beltre. And that one misses badly.
Boy, he was so far off balance, he went down on 1 knee. Kind of mentioned it when Austin was on the mound that after this many pitches on a hot night in 1 inning, you tend to get a little tired. It becomes a little bit more difficult to get the ball where you want to. And I think that Estrada is going through that right now.
Beltre sends this one down the right field line, but it will end up in the seats. 1-1. A little activity for the Blue Jays. Dominic Leone preparing out there. So both starters might be short for this game tonight. Good news is Austin Bibens-Dirkx get a little bit of a break after his long inning. 1-1. Pop foul back toward us and just short of the booth. He's had plenty of time to catch his breath down there. This will be the 35th pitch of the inning for Estrada. Rangers everywhere. That one's high. On the appeal, no.
Adrian asked for help on that one and got it. Definitely stopped in time. Adrian, when he does that, he wants to make sure that the home plate umpire, before he calls that a strike, checks with the first base umpire who's got a better look at it.
Hits this one out to right center field. That one drops in. Base hit. 2 is in. Here comes Elvis. Mazzara being waved. And Beltre with a bases clearing double.
Just pretty much a carbon copy of the top of the 4th inning. All the Rangers have one-upped them. There you go through the pitch-by-pitch again with Adrian. Marco Estrada, after walking Mazzara to load the bases. Good fastball. Adrian fouled it off. Another fastball for a strike. He fouled it off. 3 straight fastballs, laid off a high one, and then got one well out of the strike zone. That's not even close to being a strike. Lined it into the gap to right center field, and I like the slide that Adrian gives at second base. He runs around him and then sneaks the hand in there for a bases loaded double. Great comeback inning for the Rangers. After the Blue Jays had scored 4, the Rangers come back and score 5.
Gomez loves it. The bench loves it. And the Rangers back in front, 6-5 to score. Blue Jays into the bullpen. We'll be back in a moment. West. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by North Texas Ford. The Great American Sales Event is happening now at your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. What a wild 4th inning, top and bottom this has been.
Each team had a bases loaded, base clearing double in that inning. Pierce and Adrian. Rangers scoring all 5 of their runs with 2 outs. Nice rally. 2 big hits. Elvis and then Adrian.
Oh, for Beltre right there. Double number 596 in his career. And now Dominic Leone has taken over on the mound. How about that? 1,583 career RBIs. Passes Al Kaline to 37th all time. Man, the company he keeps. Odor waiting on a 1-0 from Leone. That's very high. Ball 2. 26th game of the year for Leone. Respectable 352 earned run average. Five runs are in. Odor is the 9th Ranger to come to the plate this inning. And it's 2-1. Well, Odor's average has dropped a point tonight, 0 for 2. His .222 average coming in to the game today was his highest since mid-April. April 15th when he was hitting .225, but he fights this one off. It's 2-2. So he has started to climb back a little bit in terms of batting average. 1 for 3 yesterday with a walk. 9 for 22 in the last 6 games. Hitting for some power as well. He has Adrian Beltre at second base. Full count. There's a guy who started everything in his 4th inning with a walk. And he would be next.
That was such an unusual inning for Marco Estrada. The first 2 runs got on base by walks, something he doesn't normally do.
Odor hits this one high in the air out to right field. Might have enough. Batista back at the wall, and he'll make the catch. Just underneath. Well, the Rangers will settle for the 5 runs. Elvis Andrus delivering one of the very big hits, bringing in 2. Hey, Rangers fans, download the Fox Sports Go app and take Rangers baseball with you wherever you go. You can't catch the games on TV. You can stream them live on your mobile device with the Fox Sports Go app, presented by Hyundai. Elvis Andrus, big 2-run single last inning. Adrian Beltre, 3-run double.
I don't think Marco Estrada expected to give up a bases loaded double on that pitch. It was almost outside, but it was definitely 3 or 4 inches high and out of the strike zone. And it probably would be true that you wouldn't give up a bases loaded double to most hitters on that pitch, but Adrian, that's a different story.
Pilar takes the strike 1-1 to count.
It'd be really interesting to see how Austin does this inning. After his long inning in the top of the 4th, sitting through the Rangers' long inning, what were they both, 24, 25 minute half innings, to see how sharp he is after such a long inning. 50 minutes basically to play that 1 inning, the 4th inning.
Well, he gets ahead of Pilar here 1-2. That'll be a key, is how he handles him. See Tanner Scheppers and Dario Alvarez. Well, Jeff Bannister's prepared for anything in this 5th inning. Would love to get Bibens-Dirkx through 5 and give him a chance. Now leading by a run. But it's going to be up to Austin to get it done on his end. 2-2 now the count. Pilar, a little up and down so far in 2017. Goes up after strike 3, and for the second time tonight, strikes out.
No, we were talking earlier in the game, Dave, that Austin Bibens-Dirkx likes to throw from different arm angles, so we caught a couple of different arm angles. The one on the left is his traditional 3/4 arm slot, and then the one on the right is when he does drop down and throw from a more sidearm angle, what it looks like to the hitter. That's Pilar looking on the right. I think Donaldson on the left. Also mentioned that Pilar doesn't walk a lot. He's a fairly free swinger, and that played right into the hands of the Rangers and Dirkx, Bibens-Dirkx, as he swung at that high fastball a little bit out of the strike zone.
Not just misses a corner to Donaldson here, who is 0 for 2. Both times he has bounced out to his opposite number. Adrian Beltre will be ready down there at third.
Austin's thrown a lot of pitches. This will be his 87th pitch. So there's not a lot left in the tank, but what's going through his mind right now, every out that I give the Rangers and Jeff Bannister is 1 out the bullpen doesn't have to pitch. And then from the personal aspect of it, if I can guts it out, get through the 5th inning, I have a chance to get a win. You have to pitch 5 innings to get a win. The Rangers have a 1-run lead. And so Austin is trying to help his team by getting the extra outs and help himself by giving himself a chance to win a ball game. There's the sidearm pitch. Donaldson, for the 2nd pitch in a row, is swung at a high fastball out of the strike zone. Showed that sidearm angle. That's what it looks like in real motion, slow motion, tailing up and in, and got Donaldson to swing at it.
Well, those last 2 pitches, Donaldson looks like he must have come out of his shoes.
Well, the Blue Jays are an aggressive home run hitting team, and the last 3 swings have all been on high fastballs out of the strike zone.
Here's the 1-2. That's high. Well, 4 strikeouts so far for Bibens-Dirkx. 1 walk. And here he is now. His next pitch is going to be number 90 for the night. 90 is just a number. The fact of the matter is he threw 37 pitches last inning, and that takes a little extra out of a guy. Here's his 2-2. Got him looking.
Yes, sir.
Wow, back-to-back strikeouts in the 5th inning. And here comes Jose Bautista, as you can hear. And before Bautista gets going, let's check in with Emily.
Yeah, we've heard about the story, the pep talk that Austin's wife Leah gave him before that start in Washington. Great story about how they met working at Applebee's. And so Austin, for I think it was around 8 years, would go back in his time that he wasn't playing baseball and work at Applebee's. And he said they were so great, they'd welcome him back, you know, each year, whatever time he had, and he worked in all different facets of that restaurant and did a lot of different jobs. So that's where he met his wife Leah, and they, you know, of course, got married and have been on this wild ride together, and it continues here in Arlington, guys.
That's awesome. Such a big part of his career too, you know.
There was a day, my day, where players had to work in the offseason. You had to get a job. Players today don't go through that at the big league level, but certainly at the minor league level they do. The season ends. Okay, what do I do for the next 5 months to earn a living for my family?
1-1 on Bautista, and another great pitch is ahead here, 1-2.
Well, hopefully he can get Bautista right here and end up with somewhere around 94, 95 pitches, get out of the inning with a chance to win and finish strong after a tough 4th inning. He's come out to strike out Pilar and Donaldson. They're trying to get Bautista right here. He's ahead in the count. Just need to make a good pitch.
Bautista got him for a home run last time up. 1-2.
Good try. Try to get him to swing at a high fastball. Bautista has had seasons where he's walked 100 times. A season where he walked 100 times. not quite as prone to swinging at bad pitches, although every hitter swings at a bad pitch sometimes.
He's definitely content to take a walk. One of the most frequent hitters in the league in that regard. 5th in the league. 2-2 pitch. Oh man!
He wanted to.
Well, I don't think there was much of a shot on a check swing, although they did appeal it to Rayburn. But the pitch on its merit was very close.
Bautista had a year in 2015. As we look at the replay, see where that pitch was. Whoa, it was pretty close. In fact, very close. 2015, he walked 110 times and struck out 106 times. Pretty impressive totals.
Big 3-2 pitch. And this one bounced third base. Beltre with a ton of time. And it's a 1-2-3, top of the 5th for Austin Bibens-Dirkx. What a great shutdown inning from the rookie. And we are halfway to the house tonight.
Five to give Austin a 1-run lead. He came back after a tough 4th inning with a strikeout of Pilar, a strikeout looking to Donaldson, a slider that Bautista grounded to 3rd, and if in fact that was his last inning, a beautiful way to go out. He can't feel any better than that. He gave up 4 runs on 4 hits and a walk in the 4th inning. He got a lead and he came back out with his best inning, his best stuff. Sucked it up with 95 or 98 pitches in 5 innings and is in position to get himself a win. That will win you points with your teammates and your manager to go back out after such a tough 4th inning and pitch like that. Shut down inning. That was nice.
Well, the first pitch in the bottom of the 5th. Lifted out to center field. Pilar tracks down the Gomez fly ball. 1 away. For us to take a second game break. Check in with John Radigan. All right, thanks, John. 1 out here, and Napoli at the plate. Leone, after getting the final out of the 4th inning, pitching in this 5th. Got 1 quick out on 1 pitch. And that was 1-0 to Napoli. Whoa. Mike's 0 for 2. He's flat out to center and struck out swinging. Estrada today
Went 3 2/3 innings. It was not an easy 3 2/3 innings. Threw 86 pitches before giving way to Leone. And it's now 3-1. Napoli watches ball 4, and so a 1-out walk in the 5th inning. The Texas Rangers are excited to bring you the first ever Game of Thrones theme night on Wednesday, July 5th. Rangers taking on the Boston Red Sox. Now, the exclusive theme night ticket comes with a limited edition House Bannister bobblehead. Plus, fans will have the opportunity to take a picture on the Iron Throne. Tickets must be purchased through TexasRangers.com/Game of Thrones.
Are you a Game of Thrones watcher?
So I've dipped my toes in the water.
Good.
I am in season 1. Have you done it?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. Bobby Jones. I was watching. I think I was watching Sons of Anarchy on the plane, finishing up that series, and Bobby Jones came by and said, "When you're done with that, you got to watch Game of Thrones." Josh Frazier as well. So I watched it on the plane one season and loved every minute of it. It's the kind of that's a little bit gory. But I was shocked when my wife watched it, and she likes it more than I do. I think it's coming back in the middle of July, so the new season will be out. And it's amazing at the level. It's like chess. You can watch it at any level. My level is kind of somewhere middle of the road, and I don't know half the stuff that's really going on with all the. There's so many characters. But then on the internet, you can read about it and find out exactly what's going on with the people that watch it at the highest level. It's really interesting to see all the subtleties that they find in each one of the episodes.
I'm glad you said that, because I'm almost done with season 1, and I feel like I need a user's manual.
I know, yeah, exactly. I do it at the end of each season. I go back and read up just to make sure I know exactly what happened in that season. But it's definitely an exciting show. Strong characters, boy, especially female characters. And you never know what's going to happen in that. Have you watched the last episode of season 1?
No, not yet.
Okay, I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Leone misses to Lucroy after walking Napoli. Goes 3-0 on Lucroy. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, and it is definitely, for me, it's a journey beyond my normal scope and genres.
Exactly. When I watched the previews before that, if I ever watched it, I saw dragons and I saw the period that it was in. I said to myself, this may be good, but I'll never watch it. As soon as I saw the dragon, I'm never watching this. And Bobby Jones and Josh Frazier talked me into watching it, and I've thanked them each a couple of times because how great it is.
Small lead at first, a 3-1 to Lucroy. Fought off, and it is a full count. 1 out here in the 5th. Rangers scored 5 runs in the 4th inning. Of course, that's after the Blue Jays had scored 4 runs in the 4th inning. What an inning.
50 minutes.
79 pitches.
79
top and bottom
pitches.
combined.
Wow. And 2 3-run doubles, 1 for each team.
And that's high. Back-to-back walks.
Well, 2 walks started the rally in the 4th. Maybe it'll be the same thing. 1 out, 2 men on, both on walks. Same way that the 4th inning started. Gomez started the 4th with a walk. He started this with a fly out to center field, but Jonathan has walked in each inning.
Another visit. Russell Martin and Dominic Leone spent some time together out on the mound this inning. Now they have to deal with Joey Gallo, who is 0 for 2, fly out to left and a strikeout swinging. Had some big swings tonight, just hasn't Connected on one in fair territory. He's one of the playboy.
He's thrown 19 pitches, 12 of them have been balls.
More activity for the Toronto Blue Jays. Aaron Loop. One-0. Right now, Leone's just having a whale of a time finding the strike zone. And that's
he's in kind of a tough situation right here. He needs to throw a strike, but he's got to be careful with Joey Gallo at the plate. That strike could turn into 3 runs in a hurry.
Pete Walker is pitching coach heading out there. These are always interesting to know what advice exactly a guy is passing on or instructions, but a guy right now is throwing twice as many balls as strikes. It's not like he's trying to miss.
He's had a pretty solid season so far. 31 innings, only 23 hits, 11 walks, which is not alarming. More than a strikeout per inning and a .207 opponent's batting average. So he's just having a bad night, unable to throw strikes so far in this game. But for most of the season, he's been very solid.
Well, this could be a huge pitch right here. Gallo waiting 2-0. 2 men out there. And it's 3-0, and it gets away from Martin. Everybody will move up. Wild pitch puts Napoli at third and Lucroy at second base.
Even though he's had a terrible time throwing strikes in that situation, 2-0, he felt like with Gallo at the plate, he had to throw a breaking ball. Threw a hard slider, threw it by Russell Martin. But it just wasn't in the cards for him to throw a fastball for a strike right there because he was afraid what might happen with Gallo looking fastball all the way. So that was probably a wise choice, but the result wasn't great. Now it's 3-0. Almost the same situation. You don't know for sure whether he's going to be swinging or not.
3-0 pitch, and that one grooved.
That's the kind of pitch that if you do have the green light 3-0, it's not a great pitch to swing at. It's a strike, but it's a pitcher's strike. Low and on the outside corner. Looking for your pitch to hit. That wasn't it.
He could still come out of his shoes right here. But he won't. He'll take the walk. 3 consecutive walks. Bases are loaded for Chu. And that was interesting. Leone's signaling into the dugout like that. Come and get it. That might not be right. But John Gibbons makes the walk and will signal to the bullpen. Third pitch of the night coming on for Toronto. future Hall of Famer in your dugout.
That's great.
Sits right behind the plate.
Yeah.
Hey, Texas fans, Fox Sports Southwest wants you to show your school spirit at a Rangers game. You get discounted tickets for the Monday, July 3rd game against the Red Sox and a free Rangers cap in cowboy orange and white colors while supplies last. Go to TexasRangers.com/OSU for details. Okay, here's Chu with the bases loaded and only one out. And there's a strike from Aaron Loup.
Pretty good season for Aaron Loup. 33rd ball game, winning record, nice ERA. Pretty good strikeout to walk ratio. He's in because the Rangers, 2 out of the next 3 hitters, 3 out of the next 5 hitters are left-handed hitters. In between, though, you've got Elvis and Beltre.
We saw that it was now his 33rd relief appearance, and that sounds like a lot at this point of the year. But in those appearances, he has not thrown, a ton of innings. 25 total innings. Because you come on and you face one hitter, maybe 2 at a time. 2-strike pitch up high.
One of the reasons managers try to tailor their lineup so that you don't have a lot of left-handed hitters batting next to each other, so that the other manager can bring in a left-hand pitcher and then face your 3 best left-hand hitters. Like to split them up, lefty, righty, so that in between they're going to have to face a righty.
Well, they appeal on that check swing. And Chu went around. That is strike 3.
So Luke was able to get Chu, but instead of coming in and facing 2 straight left-handed hitters, now he has to face Elvis with the bases loaded. And Elvis was pretty successful in that same situation back in the 4th inning when he singled to left field. Elvis has a chance to get a base hit with the bases loaded 2 straight innings. He's had hits in the 3rd and the 4th. Trying to make it 3 innings in a row with a base hit.
Andrews, how about this last couple of seasons? Only Cameron Maybin and Mookie Betts with a higher average, with runners in scoring position. Andrews has been so big in these spots. Got Napoli 3rd, Lucroy 2nd, Gallo at 1st, and a bounce right back to Loup.
That was headed right straight up the middle, too.
That will end the inning. So the Rangers with 3 walks that leave all 3 out there, and we go to the 6th.
High-speed replay. We'll go back to the top of the 2nd inning. A hot smash pulled down the line by Kendrys Morales. Looked like it might be off Joey Gallo's glove for a double. Instead, with a shift, Rougned is right there, picks it up. Austin Bibens-Dirkx covers first base, and they turn what could have been a double into an out. That is our AT&T high-speed replay.
Yeah, what a great play. What a fun play. Early in the ball game today. We've seen a lot of offense since then. And how about this? Tanner Shepard taking over in this 6th inning.
Tanner likes to throw the fastball, sinking fastball, mid-90s, and a good curveball. When Tanner is at his best, he's pounding the strike zone, jamming right-hand hitters with that tailing mid-90s fastball. There's a good, sharp breaking curveball. Good to see Tanner back. He's worked hard, working through some injuries, trying to rehab, come back, worked his way back, and hopefully it's here to stay for Tanner.
Jumped ahead of Morales 0-2. Started the season on the disabled list with left abdominal discomfort. Contract purchased before the ball game today. Makes his 2017 debut. Last appearance with the Rangers last year in October on the 2nd against the Tampa Bay Rays. He pitched in 16 games at the Round Rock Express. Count stays 0-2. Again to Morales, and again a pop-up headed foul. Beltre will give it a look, but no chance there. Gets it on the carom. There you go. That's awesome.
She's got a Beltre jersey on. He remains her favorite player.
That will, I think, never be in doubt. That will never change now. There's no chance. Rocket up into the seats by Morales. So a couple of good swings by Morales.
That's about as dangerous a seat as you can have on that kind of a ball. That ball was hit 100 miles an hour into the stands. Glad to see at least what we're watching now, that everybody's okay. Hit an empty seat. Thank goodness. There you go.
And Shepard's with 96 miles per hour on that one, and he gets Morales swinging for the first out of the 6th. Bring up Justin Smoke. Let's check in again, though, with Emily.
Yeah, as you guys mentioned, Tanner Shepard's making his season debut today. Been battling injuries over the last couple of seasons, and says he finally feels physically good. He feels comfortable in his body and what it's able to do. He's been pitching well in Round Rock. He said the time away from the big leagues has given him some perspective, taught him a lot about himself, both personally and professionally. And he said usually, you know, those two are linked. He's hoping to have a bit of a fresh start here in 2017, and hopefully he can take those results from Round Rock and bring them here, guys.
Oh, I like the sounds of that plan.
Well, so far, it's only 7 or 8 pitches. His curveball looks as good as we've seen it. Looks a little bit harder, a little bit sharper. Sometimes he threw a bigger, slower curveball. That's a nice, tight, hard-breaking curveball he's throwing now.
And this one hit sharply out toward right field. Chu will track it down. Smoke is on once again. He's got a 3-for-3 night going.
There's a look at the curveball. This one didn't come down like he wanted it to. It spun and stayed up. Allowed Smoke to line it into right field. That's 3 hits for Smoke as he zeroes in on a 300 batting average. Top 5 in home runs, top 10 in RBIs so far for him. If he keeps hitting like this, he's going to be top 10 in batting average as well. OPS, top 7. 936 coming into the game. What a year for Justin Smoke.
Now Tulowitzki, and he hammers that one down the left field line. Smoke around second, heads to third as Mazzara tracks down the baseball in the corner. It's a double for Tulowitzki. And the Blue Jays have set up shop in this 6th inning.
A well hit ball by Tulowitzki. Pulled it down the line. Tulowitzki has not been hitting with much power. That wasn't a terrible pitch. It looked like it had good movement tailing in, but credit Tulowitzki with being able to take a great swing at an inside pitch. Not only hitting it pretty hard, but being able to keep that pitch fair. Pretty nice job. We're talking about Justin Smoke, Dave. I remember, I don't know what year it was, sitting right in this same seat when Justin had just signed with the Rangers. I think he was the 10th or 12th pick in the draft. Rangers had signed him, and he was up here talking about embarking on his professional career. He's played with several different teams and has never put together anything remotely like the season he's putting together right now.
Yeah, he was a really highly thought of prospect. What, out of South Carolina,
Yep,
right?
Yep. College player. It's taken him a while to come into his own, but he seems to be doing it right now.
2 balls and no strikes on Russell Martin. As long as you're going in the Wayback Machine. I wasn't here in 2013 either when Tanner Scheppers had one of his real big years, and you were thinking to yourself at the time, like, whoa, here's one of the emerging superstars to the back end of a bullpen. And then injuries have slowed him down.
Yep, they have. And that particular year, it was one right after the other. Mid-90s sinking fastball, broken bats from right-hand hitters, weak ground balls. And Tanner, it's still there. It's just a matter of reestablishing that consistency that he had in that particular year you're talking about.
Ball 4 to Russell Martin, so a base hit, a double, and now a walk to Martin has loaded him up. And Doug Brocale quickly out to the mound. Rangers with a 1-run lead. Austin Bibens-Dirkx left after 5. How about his night? Coming back for a big 1-2-3 inning in the 5th. And turned over a lead to the bullpen, but Scheppers now teetering on the edge in this 6th inning.
I'm sure Doug said something like, take a deep breath, relax, throw that sinker down around the knees. We've got a ground ball, turn a double play, and get out of this inning.
You see Ernesto Fieri getting ready in the pin. Breaking ball just a little bit above the zone to Steve Pearce, who delivered last time up with the bases loaded. Yeah, that huge double. Bases loaded again here. Smoke third, Tulowitzki second, Martin is at first. Pops this one up. Back of second base. Andrus is out there. And he makes the catch. 2 away.
That's a big out. Blue Jays got out of a jam last inning, bases loaded and 1 out. Rangers trying to do the same thing here in the 6th inning. That's a pretty good start.
Second baseman Ryan Goins.
So now Ryan Goins. Much different feeling to the inning all of a sudden. Scheppers can get just 1 more out and send us to the bottom of the 6th in a 1-run game. Goins has been that guy, though, this year for Toronto. Bases are empty. He has not done much. But boy, when he has had a chance with runners on, he has produced this year unlike any year in his career. Last year had just 23 RBIs. Pardon me, 12 RBIs last year in 77 games. He's got almost double that this year in fewer games. 1-1 the count. And he's hitting just short of 350 with runners in scoring position. Right now has the bases loaded. Scheppers with a nice strikeout. Kendrys Morales and a single, a double, a walk. Popped up Pearce. The 1-1. Owens in a hole 1-2.
Good fastball, good location. Kept it out of any part of the strike zone where he could make good contact. You can see the spin on that ball. Two-seam fastball which tails away from the left-hand hitter. And if he could throw the same pitch again, he'd probably feel pretty good about it. Tough pitch for Owens to do anything with other than hit it off the end of the bat weakly somewhere if he's able to hit it.
One-two for Shepard. Fouled away.
Good pitch, same pitch, maybe even better, a little bit farther outside. Owens was able to make contact with it, but he wasn't going to do much with it. Pretty much can't go wrong with that pitch in this situation for this hitter.
Birds everywhere, and little roller down the first baseline, foul, keeps it 1-2. Shepard, we mentioned the great year he had in 2013, a 188 earned run average, a 6-2 record. And that was with some extensive work out of the bullpen. 76 appearances. The next year tried to make the transition to starter, was injured early, limited to just 23 innings. 2015 pitched just 38 1/3 innings. Last year appeared in 10 games in relief, 8 2/3 innings pitched. And here we are well before the midway point this year, but making his 2017 debut for the Rangers and trying to pitch out of a self-created bases loaded jam in a 1-run game. And time called as Goins backs out. Here it comes. The fly ball out to left field. Mazara with plenty of room. And that'll do it. Welcome back. Tanner Shepard, he leaves them loaded. We go to the bottom of the 6th. For the Sonic Slam inning, brought to you by Sonic Drive-In. Our jackpot tonight, $200 plus dinner for 2 at Sonic Drive-In. Jennifer Coleman from McKinney, our contestant tonight. The Ranger hits a home run this inning. Jennifer wins $200. If they hit a grand slam, Jennifer wins $25,000. That fella right there, big Mazara fan, says, well, you can hit one right to me. I'm
Only 498 feet away. Up there, back of Greens Hill. That would be something. Omar's already hit one tonight. Big home run of the first inning into the upper deck out there in right field. Well, Aaron Loop, who finished the fifth inning by striking out Chu and getting Elvis Andrus to hit one back to the mound, back out again here in the sixth. Lefty finds the strike zone. It's 1-1. Both teams with a ton of base runners so far. Each team with 7 hits. They have combined to strand 12 runners. That's 1-2 on Mazara. Omar scored twice, walked his last time up, and Loop's 1-2 pitch. He serves it up into the seats foul. Will earn another. Adrian Beltre waiting on deck. Then Rougned Odor in this sixth inning. So a little thunder and the men do here. Pitch to Mazara. I don't know how he hit the ball at that angle. 1-2. Omar with now 16 extra base hits in the last 33 games. That was after a really dry spell right before that, where it had just 2 extra base hits in a stretch of 19 games. So lately he's been hitting the ball with a lot more frequency and for a good bit more power. This will be the 7th pitch of the at bat. And Mazara strikes out swinging to start the 6th inning.
Third baseman.
One away now for Adrian Beltre.
Adrian 304 on the season. 3 of those RBIs came in his last at bat when he hit that high fastball up and away out of the strike zone into right center field to put the Rangers ahead 6-5.
Two balls, no strikes to Beltre.
Now we can kind of measure Adrian from year to year by watching him pitch batting practice to his son in the outfield, Dave. You know, several years ago when he first started to do it, this little boy would be somewhere out in the middle of right field hitting toward the right field stands. And the last couple of years he's moved back until this year we noticed him throwing to him and he was almost on the dirt at second base. The balls are going in the same spot. He's just had to move back each year because they're going farther from year to year. But I don't think I've ever seen a little boy get better batting practice pitched to him than what Adrian throws. He can throw at almost any speed right down the middle of the plate, one right after the other. And he started out lobbing to him, and now he's throwing pretty good velocity. And he's not afraid to brush him back every now and then either.
Got to establish 3-1. That one right in there. Full count now on Beltre, who doubled with the bases loaded last time up. 1 for 2 today with a walk. 3 RBIs.
The one little boy whose dad was a big leaguer that I wished I had a chance to see hit when he was little. Came back and got him. Good pitch. 2 strikeouts this inning. Was Prince Fielder at Tiger Stadium. They say when Prince went out there, Mark McLemore confirmed this because I think he saw him when he was 12 years old. He was launching balls into the upper deck in right field at Tiger Stadium. That would have been fun to watch.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
That is just.
Now, he wasn't your normal 12-year-old either, but still. Fact is, he was a big kid, but he was still 12 years old. Most 12-year-olds are trying to hit him 200 feet over a Little League fence. He was hitting them over a 350-foot fence into the upper deck.
First pitch to Odor, misses for a ball. Rugi 0 for 3. I got people pretty excited about the future of that young man, Prince Fielder, and he did not disappoint.
Yeah, they say you can never tell what a little kid is going to grow up to be like. In Prince's case, it was pretty obvious.
Odor with a little roller, second base. Goins is there, and that completes a 1-2-3, bottom of the 6th for Aaron Luke. Moving along to the 7th inning, 1-run lead for the Rangers. This showstopper. How about this one in Los Angeles? Cody Bellinger again. That is number 20 for the Dodgers rookie, and he is the quickest to 20 career home runs in terms of games played, just 51. He ties the record, tied last year by Gary Sanchez and initially set by the Braves' Wally Berger. The Boston Braves' Wally Berger back in the 30s.
Think of that record. 2 guys have done it in the last 2 or 3 years. And when you look at Cody Bellinger, he is a carbon copy of Paul O'Neill. They have the same body, very similar swing, only it looks like Bellinger has a little more of an uppercut swing and much better power. Not that Paul O'Neill didn't have power. Paul hit for a high average, very consistent hitter, Yankee star for a lot of those great Yankee teams. Tremendous player. Cody Bellinger looks just like him, similar swing with what looks like untapped power.
1-2 on Kevin Pillar to start the 7th inning for Toronto. Jose Leclerc and Dario Alvarez. Dario Alvarez has been throwing for a while out there, but Leclerc now joins him. Shepard's 1-2, and this is pop foul out of play. So Wally Berger, who initially did it, it was like early 30s with the Boston Braves. That record held up forever. The only reason I even know who Wally Berger is because it was his record that McGuire broke many years ago with Oakland. When McGuire hit 49 home runs in his rookie year, he broke Berger's record that had stood for, I don't know, ever, like 50 plus years. And then it was tied 2 years later. That boy Tanner.
Popped up left side of the infield, and Elvis Andrus is right there, 1 away.
Check this one out, Dave. You bring something up on TV and we're going to find it. There he is. Prince Fielder, when he was, I believe, 12 years old. That's Terry Francona, the manager of the Indians now, pitching batting practice to him. And that's what it looked like in Tiger Stadium when he was hitting balls into the upper deck. Wow, that is so great. Johnny Sponsler found that one. That is just awesome. See what else we can talk about that we want to watch in a couple minutes.
Yeah, now I put something on the wish list and see if Sponsler can find that. One ball and 1 strike to Donaldson.
You know, sometimes you see kids between the ages of 8 and 12 that are just bigger than everybody else. They don't necessarily have a great swing, but at that age they're just so big and strong that they can just overpower the ball. In Prince's case, he was big and strong, he could overpower the ball, and he had a great swing. He looked like a ball player, he looked like a hitter. And I guess when you grow up in a big league clubhouse and you have Terry Francona as your instructor throwing your batting practice and Prince as a dad, chances are you will grow up with a pretty good swing. And there's Delino, grew up in the same situation with his dad.
You were able to provide some of that guidance along the way.
Both my kids were able to be bat boys. And judging by the conversation at family reunions, it was some of the best years of their life. The stories revolve around all the things that happened in the clubhouse. They used to stay overnight sometimes on Saturday night before a Sunday day game. I think I've mentioned this before. Joe Macco, the clubhouse manager, years later told me, Tommy, I never really told you all the things that those kids did in the clubhouse because I didn't think you needed to know. They were safe, and that's all I thought you needed to know. And I kind of thanked him for that. But as the years go by, he learned all the things they used to do in the clubhouse. Sleeping wasn't one of them.
3-2 from Sheppers. This one fouled away. Now your sons also share some great memories too via Twitter. Now I don't know how much embellishment goes into some of these tweets.
No, that one is actually true. It's a long story that I don't have time to tell, but Tom Ranoni, who was the son of our team dentist, who is my daughter's godfather, was in Hollywood producing music videos for the Ramones and asked me to be in one. And it was the video of The Substitute. And my role in that video was to drive in the back of a Jeep and shoot a machine gun at a gingerbread man. Don't ask me what the story was, but that was my role. Anyway, he took a still picture of it, popped it on his Twitter account, and said, the only father that appeared in a Ramones video shooting a machine gun at a gingerbread man. And I told him, I'm so glad that I've been able to provide you with such lasting memories in your life. I didn't even know he tweeted it. I just thought he said it to me. But it's gotten a lot of mileage because a lot of people have asked me about it. There's 2 versions to that video. One, they cut out the gingerbread scene at the end. So if you're looking for it, you have to dig deep. We've shown that over the years. So I'm not going to ask anybody to bring that one back.
Well, anyway, we just saw Prince swinging the bat as a 12-year-old. Surely we can pull up.
Oh boy, you started it. There it is.
There he is. Dude,
that's the gun, and in the back, and you can't see it, but what I'm aiming at is a giant gingerbread man. And it was out in Los Angeles in a cave. I don't know if you ever watched the old Superman shows. It was a set where they used to film some of the scenes of Superman. Pretty famous movie set, evidently. So that was my thrill, my Hollywood thrill, thanks to Tom Ranoni.
Strike pitch to Batista. He's in a hole 0-2. There's the cave.
Whoa,
is that the gingerbread man?
That's him. That's a very dangerous gingerbread man. You can see he's armed.
Oh, so he was
armed and dangerous.
So he was antagonizing.
He was.
Oh.
He was.
Okay.
I didn't realize that there was a real.
We had more firepower. He didn't stand a chance. Now, you remember the actress Karen Black?
No.
Anyway, she's a little bit before your time, but she was, I forget what movie she was in. But anyway, she was in that video herself.
Darn. Now, did you get paid?
No, no. That was just for the honor and experience of being in a Ramones video. It is funny, though, because people that have watched that have come up to me and said, how did you get to be in that video? You don't even know who the Ramones are.
Are you not a Ramones guy?
I am now.
Okay.
But at the time, I wasn't that familiar with the Ramones. But after I've learned how cool they were and how great they were, I've become a Ramones fan. But it took that video to make it happen.
Now, were they getting along well at that time?
That I can't answer. I will say this, though. Johnny Ramone and Tom Ranoni came to a game at Yankee Stadium, and I sat with him at a ball game, and he came with leather clothes on, chains, and long hair. Great pitch right there by Tanner Shepard. With Donaldson. I should say Bautista. There's the curveball we're talking about. Tight breaking curveball, perfectly located. Gets Bautista to wave at it. Nice pitch.
Jeff Bannister happy with that and says thank you, Tanner Shepard. So a 2 gone in the 7th inning. Shepard with a couple of strikeouts in an inning and 2/3. We'll bring on the left-hander Dario Alvarez. Seventh inning, cleanup man Kendry Morales coming up. And I invite you to take a trip to Margaritaville Friday, July 7th. Rangers and Angels. Going to be a special pregame tailgate party with live music and cold drinks. Plus, fans who purchase a special themed ticket will receive a Margaritaville-inspired Rangers t-shirt. Stay for the postgame fireworks show set to Jimmy Buffett's music. And you can get your tickets today. TexasRangers.com/theme nights. Okay, Dario Alvarez on to face Morales.
A lot of sliders. That's a ratio you don't see very often. 60% sliders, 40% fastballs. Again, he's pitching kind of like you mentioned with Loop. He's not in for long stints. Hitters don't get to see him more than once. He faces a lot of left-handed hitters, and he's got a great slider. That's his pitch, and so he throws it a lot. That's why he's in the big leagues.
Big swing and a miss. The count 0-2. Donaldson at first base, and Alvarez misses a little up. Morales had that double in the 4th inning, came around to score. productive first half so far with the Blue Jays, a team 2 games under 500, but very much in the thick of things in the American League East. It's now 2-2. 5.5 back of the Yankees and Red Sox in a virtual tie right now. Those two teams atop the East. No team in the American League further than 4.5 out on the wild card coming into play tonight. So if you just want to look at the overall picture in the American League.
But if it stays like this, September's going to be unbelievable.
It is nuts. A 2-2. Got him swinging. So Alvarez comes on, strikes out Morales, and preserves a scoreless 7th inning. They'll stand and stretch tonight here at Globe Life Park. Rangers up by 1. Is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keep calm to learn more. What a night. And what a wild game. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning, a 1-run game. Rangers leading. And now we'll go to work against a new Blue Jays pitcher. Jason Grilli has come on here in the 7th.
A little bit of an inflated ERA for Jason Grilli. Over the last few years, he's had some excellent seasons as a closer. Trying to find it so far this year.
Gomez started after that one, and it is strike 1. It'll be Carlos Gomez, Mike Napoli, Jonathan Lucroy in this 7th inning. Gomez, as you can see, a base hit and a run scored today. His hitting streak now to 8 games. And he has looked great since coming off the disabled list. This is his 4th game. It's 1-1. Gomez shoots this one over to the right side, foul and out of play. Strike 2. Grilli has had a tough go of it in one particular way in this early part of the season. He's given up 9 home runs already.
That'll inflate your ERA, Dave, in case you didn't know that.
That's a killer. 40 years old now. That is a quick way to get it done. Look out. 2-2. Well traveled. 110 years service time. He's been at it a long time, and he strikes out Gomez swinging to start the bottom of the 7th. Saturday, July 8th. We're going retro for Turn Back the Clock night. The first 15,000 fans 14 and older will receive a Mike Napoli powder blue replica jersey courtesy of Fox Sports Southwest and Southwest Airlines. Rangers and Angels. It's an 8:05 game. Get your tickets today, TexasRangers.com, or by calling 972-RANGERS. Grilli with a big strikeout. And now Mike Napoli. Oh, that one up and in. In the 5th inning, 3 consecutive walks. Loaded the base. Dominic Leone just kind of ran out of gas in that 5th inning. And Aaron Luke came on in relief. Now Jason Grilli, and they have retired combined 6 straight. Bouncer left side, smothered by Donaldson. He hops up, and a great throw, and he gets Napoli. What a play. 2 away in the inning. Still nobody on. Time for a Chevy game break. We send it back to John Radigan. Okay, thanks, John. 6-5 here. As Lucroy comes up, he's walked a couple of times. And he takes strike 1. So everybody right now, we're talking about the last inning. If every American League team is inside 5 games of the wild card, and everybody's sort of in it. Kansas City Royals, that's been the conversation since the offseason. Where do they find themselves around the trade deadline?
It's hard. It's hard because if you're still in it, it's hard to sell your players to build for the future and try to sell that program to your fans who have bought tickets and want to see you try to win. It's a difficult situation. Some teams, I'm sure, would rather be in a position where they're out of it so they can go ahead with their plan to build for the future. It's a difficult situation. I mean, it's a nice situation that there's such great competition. So many teams are still in it, trying to battle, and for a team to get there. I mean, that's the whole goal, is to get to the postseason. So that's the good part. But sometimes it might interfere with long-range plans.
1-2. And Lucroy bounces it right back to Grilli. So that completes a 1-2-3 inning for the veteran right-hander and sends us to the 8th inning. Rangers lead by 1. 6th inning. And our AT&T matchup for tomorrow, game 2 of a 4-game series. Francisco Liriano and Nick Martinez, our pitching matchup. Coverage will begin with the pregame show at 6:30 here on Fox Sports Southwest. We'll get started a little after 7. Martinez taking it all in. All right, Jose Leclerc has come on out of the bullpen. He is the 4th pitcher of the night for the Rangers.
And we'll take a look at his pitch arsenal. He uses his changeup with the slider action to it about the same amount of time that he uses his fastball, 47–45%, and then occasionally he'll throw a curveball and a cutter. He's definitely worked his way into the rotation out in the bullpen, where Jeff Bannister has shown a great deal of confidence. Looks forward to bringing him into a tight ball game, and he's performed.
So Leclerc will try to do what nobody else apparently can do, and that is stop Justin Smoke. Little bouncer over to the right side. Gallo feeds Leclerc, and he has done it. He has retired him. Smoke will go back to the dugout, 1 away in the 8th.
Boy, this felt like a slugfest in the 4th inning. Other than that, not a whole lot of action other than a couple of home runs.
So now here is Tulowitzki, who is 1 for 3. So Sheppers, an inning and 2/3 scoreless tonight in relief. Dario Alvarez got the one man he faced. So now Leclerc, it's 2-0. It all began with Austin Bibens-Dirkx, and boy, he navigated some real rough patches there in the 4th inning. Came back in the 5th with a 1-2-3. He struck out Pilar and Donaldson, and then got Batista to ground out to 3rd. That was pretty impressive.
I love the fact that he came back out after that bad inning and had his best inning when he'd already reached about 90 pitches. He had to be close to gassed, and he sucked it up, went out, and lit it up in that 5th inning, which was very nice to see. Struck out Pilar, struck out Donaldson in that inning.
Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. 2-2 on Tulowitzki. Now Leclerc has been so good and so consistent. His 2-2 pitch, and that is called strike 3. 2 gone in the 8th inning.
And no doubt about that pitch. I think Tulowitzki knew it. The pitch was right in the center of the plate. You can see the ball spinning like a slider. Definitely fooled Tulowitzki with 2 strikes. He had to bend his knees and took it all the way, hoping to get a call, but the pitch was too good to call a ball.
So with 2 away and the base is empty, Russell Martin, who has walked a couple of times, 0 for 1 today. Martin came in with the average of 225. There's a head here, 2 balls and no strikes. Now Leclerc, when you go back and you look at his numbers in the minor leagues, the problem he had, or the one thing you would have been cautious about, the number of walks that he allowed. And that was always the one concern. His stuff's so good. You can get big strikeouts, but could he limit the walks? And he has this year. That's what's been so great. Now 3-0 though on Russell Martin, and he walks him on 4 pitches. All right, Rangers fans, a formal invitation. Come on out Wednesday. It's an autograph session with Delano DeShields at the Whataburger at 730 North Denton Tap Road in Capel. Starts at 10:30. And while you're there, you can sign up to be the Whataburger Whata fan. You could also win tickets to a Rangers game as well as Whataburger for a year. Go to TexasRangers.com/appearances for more information. Pierce pops this one up. Left side, foul ground. Andrews with a long run. That one up into the seats. And I meant the foul ball, not Elvis. He was very nearly up into the seats. He's on the move.
Elvis was thinking about a highlight catch right here. Didn't quite get the chance. Got the high five of a fan, though.
Here's 1 for 3 today with a 3-run double. And takes strike 2. When you watch those, they look so much like a breaking ball. And that's that changeup from Leclerc. It's confusing, and we watch it all the time. It's got to be really baffling for hitters. 2-strike pitch. Trying to check a swing,
yes, he
and he did not. He went around. Rayburn rings him up, and the inning is done. 2 strikeouts for Jose Leclerc. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. All right, time for the Ford game summary. Justin Smokes had a huge night tonight, but it has not been enough for the Toronto Blue Jays. Adrian Beltre, the bases clearing double in the 4th inning. Put the Rangers in front by a run, and it has stayed there since as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 6-5 our score. Joey Gallo will lead off the 8th inning, and Jeff Beliveau, yet another new pitcher for the Blue Jays. Formerly with the Rays, just his 5th appearance this year with Toronto. In fact, he made his Blue Jays debut earlier this month, about 2 weeks ago today, at Oakland. Gallo goes up after strike 1. Gallo today 0 for 2 with a walk. Well, it's 0-2. So lefty on lefty working right now.
for the Blue Jays. Lefties, though, 3 for 7 against Beliveau. He won it up. And Gallo did too, but it comes up empty. A strikeout starts the bottom of the 8th.
Here's our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Go back to the 4th inning. Elvis Andrus, 2 outs, bases loaded, single to left field, scores 2 runs. A couple of batters later, bases loaded, 2 outs, 2 strikes. Adrian Beltre takes that high fastball to right center field for a bases clearing double, and that is the difference in the game. 6-5 the score. Those were our Jimmy John's deliveries of the game.
Now a little tapper foul for a strike. Chu on a couple of times again tonight. That's 6 straight games now where he has reached base more than once. And bounces one to the right side of the infield. Goins takes care of him. 2 away.
The shortstop, Elvis Andrus.
That'll bring up Elvis Andrus. Also a couple of base hits tonight. Rangers just finished a series with the Seattle Mariners, took 2 out of 3 from them. They're now trying to take the opening game of this 4-game series against the Blue Jays. Beliveau, his first pitch fouled back off of Martin's face mask. He just ripped it right off his helmet. One-run game lasted the 8th inning. Rangers came in 34-34. 11 games back of the Houston Astros. But playing some of their better baseball of the year. This one in tight, and it is 1-1. And Matt Bush getting ready in the bullpen. The 9th place hitter, Ryan Goins, and then back to the top. Rangers had a 10-game winning streak a little earlier this year, but a lot of people pointed out, well, some of the competition might not have been the top. Teams like the Phillies in the middle of that, the Padres, who had really struggled. 2-1 pitch, that was a swing and a miss. But right now, this Rangers team winning a lot of ball games, stringing a lot of wins together against really good teams. They went out of that last road trip, swept the Washington Nationals, took 2 out of 3 from the Houston Astros, and then just took 2 out of 3 from a Mariners team that have been playing a whole lot better lately.
The Mariners are featuring a pretty nice lineup, 1 through 9, boy.
Andrews swings and misses. That strike 3, and Beliveau with a couple of strikeouts in his perfect 8th. So now to the 9th we go. Matt Bush trying to protect a 1-run lead when we come back.
We head to the 9th inning, and there is drama at the old ball yard tonight. Coming up after the game, it's Rangers Live, presented by Frontier Communications, and we've got Mark McLemore and Pudge Rodriguez actually taking their seats. Look at, there's a little cameo by Pudge right there. They're taking their seats right now. Go behind me, Pudge. Taking their seats right now for Rangers Live. They'll bring you all the analysis, lots of post-game reaction. That's the best photobomb I've ever had. That's a future Hall of Famer right there. In fact, he's already been elected. Pudge Rodriguez joins us. We hear from Jeff Bannister. Big story, showstopper. Should be lots of fun right after the game. Rangers Live, presented by Frontier Communications, guys.
That's a lot of pressure, being able to talk with Pudge looking over your shoulder like that.
If anybody can handle it, it's Raz. All right, Matt Bush is on, trying to protect a 1-run lead here in this 9th inning. He'll face a 9th place hitter, Ryan Goins, to start things off. First pitch swinging, and that one out to left center field, drops in, base hit. Goins, who had been hitless all night, trying for 2. Here comes a throw, and the tag bounces off of him. Not sure Ruby ever had it cleanly. And Goins safe at second base with a double. Is Odor okay? Is Goins okay?
Goins looks like he hurt his left hand. Not sure about Ruby. A great throw from Gomez. It was going to be a tough tag for Ruby because the play was so close. He had to catch it, dive, tag, all in the same motion. And Carlos has a great throwing arm. It was a tough ball to handle because it short hopped Ruby. He tried to catch it, tag, all in the same motion, just wasn't able to do it. The throw was maybe a foot higher and Ruby was able to catch it in the air. Would have been able to make that play.
Wait for quite a collision. It looked like did the ball bounce off of Goins' helmet? It doesn't really matter. It wasn't. He was slowed down considerably at that point. Yeah, it looks like he headed it out toward left field. And he'll be okay. Yeah, everybody's okay. But the Blue Jays with a leadoff double in the 9th.
Well, Pilar in this situation, man on second, nobody out. He'll be thinking, try to hit the ball to right field on the ground and move the runner to get a base hit. May choose to bunt, move the runner over. We'll see what John Gibbons has in mind right here. Beltre's in at third base in anticipation of that possibility. Pilar's going to try to hit to right field, at least on the first strike he did.
Bush with that very good fastball, works in the slider and the curve. Ahead 0-1 on Pilar, who was 0 for 4. And now, no balls, 2 strikes.
With that hard cutter slider, 90 miles an hour. Location was pretty good as far as a hitter goes. Velocity of movement, not that favorable for a hitter though.
No 2.
Good pitch.
Pilar came in at 256. Couple of strikeouts though tonight. He's also flied out to right, popped up to short. And fouls this one off. Blue Jays had the largest lead in this game. Rangers scored first, a solo home run by Nomar Mazara in the first. Blue Jays came back to tie it in the second with a smoke home run. Then it was a 4-run fourth, gave them the 5-1 lead. Rangers scored 5 in the bottom of the fourth to get back in front by a run. 1-2, and this one blooped. Back of second, Odor able to get back to it. One away.
Big out right there. Pillar's one of those hitters. He's tough to strike out. He's tough to walk. Only walked 18 times, only struck out 43 times. So he generally makes contact. That time Matt got that ball where he wanted it. So the other ones were in the strike zone. Pillar fouled them off. That one was down where he wanted it. Pillar had to reach, and all he was able to do was hit that little blooper to Ruby. A big out. Man on second. He's still on second after Pillar was done hitting.
So now Josh Donaldson walked his last time up. 0 for 3. Bush very deliberate. And the first pitch lined into left field. That's a base hit. Mazzara has a good arm. His throw headed to the plate, and it is allowed to go through, but not in time. Goins scores from second on the Donaldson single, and we are tied at 6.
Well, Donaldson likes to hit early in the count. Matt not wanting to give him a fastball, went with a curveball. Not a bad choice, but the location was not where he wanted it. That pitch is right in the middle of the plate, right in Donaldson's wheelhouse. That's a case you don't have to look for a curveball to hit it when it's in that location.
Now Bautista. Big home run in the 4th inning for Bautista. Also grounded out a couple of times, struck out, man at first, 1 away. And that one in there for a strike. It's 1-1. Bautista 0 for 2 in his career against Bush. Runner goes. And the pitch is outside. Throw down to second base. Not in time. Donaldson with a very big stolen base for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, he had a good jump and took advantage of Matt's delivery to the plate, and Jonathan didn't have much of a chance on that one.
Just the first stolen base attempt by Donaldson this year. Run already in. And a big 2-1 pitch. Just misses. It's 3 balls and a strike to Bautista. Bautista had really been struggling through this month. A 130 average. Now a total of 2 homers and 3 RBIs, and he swings and bounces this one foul. It's a full count. The 1-run lead is gone. We're tied at 6 in the 9th inning. Got a paid crowd tonight, 25,115. Those left really trying to help Matt Bush in the 9th. Payoff pitch. And he lost him. Bautista does walk a lot. He is aboard. Kendrys Morales. Mr. Frieri been thrown out there for a little while. Appears to be ready if needed. Brocale out there to have a couple of words.
Probably talking about Morales, the next hitter, Smoke, the next hitter after that. Both of the guys have been swinging the bats. Morales has a double in this game, scored a run. Smoke has 3 hits in the game. Get a ground ball, turn a double play. Won't have to worry about Smoke.
Bush with 8 saves this year. Lost this save opportunity, and now it's Morales to swing over the top of strike 1.
Yeah, better location with that slider, cutter, down and in. Morales looking to hit early in the count. Gonna have a hard time hitting it when it's down there. Good pitch.
There's that curveball, and it's 1-1. Bush would certainly take a ground ball here with Morales up there. Men at first and second base, get him out of the inning and give his team a shot in the bottom of the 9th. This ball, though, out to left center field, and it is down. That's a base hit. Around third base is Donaldson. He'll score. RBI single by Morales. And it is a 7-6 Toronto lead.
Morales hit a pitch, looked like a high fastball, borderline pitch, up and away, and pretty much the same type of a hit that Goins had to start the inning. Ball hitting the gap in left center field. Goins turned his into a double. Morales, without that speed, held to a single.
So Batista at third, Morales at first, still only 1 out. The hottest hitter in this lineup, Justin Smoke. He's 3 for 4, home run, a couple of singles today. And heat from Bush a little high. Well, the first 8 innings of this game, the Blue Jays were 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position. They've had 2 at-bats this inning with runners in scoring position, and they delivered on both. They dialed it up in the 9th. 3 hits so far, along with a walk. They have them on the corners. A big swing and a miss by Smoke makes it 2-1. Matt Bush had a couple of back-to-back outings. And he was not loving at the end of May against the Rays, and then June 6th against the Mets. It's a strike in there to even the count at 2-2, but his last 4 appearances had been pretty good. Tonight's been a rough one. The 2-2. And it's full count. And here is the Blue Jays closer. And he looks poised to go in the bottom of the 9th inning. Rangers will have the heart of the order coming, though, as this one got away from Lucroy. Nobody trying to move up, though. Full count on Smoke. And they're trying to move up because it's ball 4, and so they are loaded. Darwin Barney pinch running for Morales.
Second base. Barney running second base. Now batting shortstop Troy Tulowitzki.
These close games at home, they have been just torturous for this Rangers bullpen this year. That's how the year started. Some disappointing losses in that opening series against the Cleveland Indians, and then the struggles have persisted. It seemed like Matt Bush had settled them down. There's now a little tapper. First base side goes foul off the bat of Tulowitzki. Down 0-1.
Well, the Blue Jays have obviously had a big ninth inning, but Matt has to bear down right here. Bases loaded, get Tulowitzki. Maybe to come back in a one-run game, but you don't want this inning to blow up like the fourth inning did. Keep it a one-run game right here. Bear down, get Tulowitzki.
This one off the handle, popped up near second base. Odor is there, and he'll haul it in. So the base is left loaded. Pardon me, second out of the inning. Still trying to get there.
That's a big out and a big pitch right there by Matt. You could tell by the sound of that ball that it hit the bad part of the bat. Had that pitcher's sound when the ball hits the bat. Wasn't going anywhere. One step in the right direction. One more to go.
Infield fly. Now Martin. And he sends it foul out of play. The inning continues for Martin. Batista third. Darwin Barney pinch running at second. And Justin Smoke is at first base. Blue Jays 1 for 4 with the bases loaded tonight. The one, though, was a big one. It was the bases clearing double in the fourth inning. Now 0-2. This has been a long inning for Matt Bush. This will be his 27th offering in the ninth. That's low. The Blue Jays 33 wins this year, as we mentioned earlier, against 35 losses. 21 of those wins are of the come from behind variety. They were trailing by a run in the ninth and now lead by 1. 1-2. Got him swinging, and that will in the ninth inning. But a 2-run ninth for Toronto. They have taken the lead. Nomar Mazara, Adrian Beltre, and Rougned Odor in the ninth. to summon some magic here in the bottom of the ninth inning, down by a run. And tomorrow, 6:30 pregame start, 7 o'clock first pitch. Liriano and Martinez, our pitching matchup in game 2. They're not over yet, though. Rangers have 3, 4, and 5 coming up against Roberto Osuna for the Blue Jays.
17 out of 20 in save opportunities for Osuna. A nice whip, below 1, .78. Incredible strikeout to walk ratio, 36-2. Osuna's pitched 27 innings, only walked 2 batters, only given up 2 home runs, so he has been tough. He has blown 3 save opportunities, though. And the Rangers have the middle of the lineup coming up.
The Blue Jays add a little defense in left field. Dwight Smith Jr. taking over for Pierce. Omar Mazara, first pitch to him. Ooh, generous strike call. Mentioned some of the numbers for Osuna. He has converted 12 of his last 13 save opportunities. Way upstairs with that one. 1-1. Zara had the big blast to the first inning. Looked like that might set the tone for a good night offensively for this team. It has not been a bad night. This one ripped down to first, but Smoke hauls it in, 1 away.
Third baseman, Adrian.
Brings up Adrian Beltre.
A fairly good hit ball, well hit ball by Mazar. Looked like he got in on him a little bit off the handle. Smoke shading toward the line a little bit. Pretty easy play for him, just reach down and catch it.
So now Beltre, 1 for 3 with a walk. Drove in those 3 runs in the 4th inning. And it's this one foul to the third base side. All for 3 in his career against Osuna. Rangers had a 1-run lead heading into the 9th inning, but now down by a run. And down to their final 2 outs. It's 1-1 on Beltre. So Adrian earlier with that bases clearing double. Picked up career hit 2,959. Inching closer still to Sam Crawford on the all-time hit list. 1-2. Now hit in 4 straight games. He's returning from that jammed ankle against the Mets here at home. The 1-2 pitch, that's a bouncer shortstop. Backhand stop to Tulowitzki. Got a nice strong arm, and he gets it there in time. There are 2 gone.
There's so many times when a player gets to be in his upper 30s, loses a little bit of bat speed, can't quite handle the fastball like he used to. In Adrian's case, nothing's changed. He had the double on a high fastball up and away. This kid's throwing in the mid-90s. This is a high fastball on the inner part of the plate. Took a great swing at it, hit it sharply, pulled it to shortstop. Well, even with the injury, Adrian's not slowing down a bit. Swinging the bat like he always did.
Now Rougned Odor hitless tonight at 4 tries. And Osuna's first offering way in for a ball.
Last Rangers base runner was Joey Gallo in the 5th inning, the 3rd consecutive walk in that tough stretch for Dominic Leone. Odor pops this one up, back up third base. Donaldson is out there and puts it away. So this one is over. And what a thud of a finish tonight. Rangers couldn't hold the 1-run lead in the 9th inning, and they fall to the Blue Jays 7-6, the final score in the opening game of this 4-game series. Now John Radigan, Pudge, and Mack, they'll be back talking about the way this thing wrapped up today. They'll have all the player reactions, analysis, and everything else you've come to expect. We'll be back here in the booth to talk a little bit about Adrian Beltre's night. For Tom Grieve, Emily Jones, and our entire crew, I'm Dave Raymond. Stay with us. Rangers Live postgame show starts right after this.